girl, but now she only does light. She's swinging her arms, she's like a satellite. I'm taking the blows, I always said that I did. I'm singing along, cause I'm the satellite kid.
Have you got an image to apply on your green screen?
I don't.
Oh, okay. Oh,
I could.
What should we have here? I could apply mine to yours, so we've both got the same boring.
Oh. Sure.
Filter. Was it? Oh, it's a effect, isn't it? Chroma key. There we go.
All right.
And then if I, what should I do? Add an image. Oh, not a slideshow. Image. And then, oh, there you go. There you go. Same as me. Oh, you're hovering slightly. Is that? Did I do that, or did you do that? Guest. Oh, right.
There we go. Maybe.
Yeah, that looks all right, doesn't it? Oh, right.
All right, 5 minutes to go, Rob, or 4 minutes to go.
Oh no, I'm so unprepared this week. The worst week. It's just been a nightmare. So the operation went okay, Ben?
Which operation? Ethan's operation. Yeah, no, it was good. The double hernia.
Oh no, we're live. We're live on the internet. Oh, stupid idiot. Just trying to see it.
Yeah.
Oh, I've made us live again. What am I doing? Hello, legends, and welcome to Zwifty Chat. Hello, legends, and welcome to episode 6 of Zwifty Chat. I'm nearly running out of fingers. We've done so many episodes, and we've got another packed episode for you. Today, we're going to look at the Omnishambles, which is Zwift Racing this week. Absolute chaos has become us. The end is nigh. I tell you, the end is nigh, and we welcome the man, the myth, the legend, the godfather of Zwifting YouTube. YouTube. I give you Roy Imahara. Woo! Welcome, Roy.
Hey, Roy.
Thanks for having me.
It looks like you're sitting right next to Rob.
Yeah.
Had to quickly apply a green screen just before the show, so we're all matching. Yeah, it doesn't feel like a Zwift podcast unless Roy's been on it. I don't think it's the mark of the hallmark of a Zwift podcast. What you been up to, Roy, lately?
Racing.
Racing. Cool.
I got myself a new bike for outside.
Whoa.
Ooh, proper
What'd you
fast
get?
one.
I got a Venge SLA.
Oh, I know that one because it's in Zwift. Well,
Yeah.
the SLA
That's
doesn't. Venge, that makes some sense. It sounds fast.
I got the one with the integrated cockpit and the nice wheels. So
What's the wheels like? What depth are they?
the Rovals, they're 40 in the front, 50 in the rear. So
If you're rolling along nicely on those.
yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm so ignorant. But a cockpit on a bike, what is that?
Oh, it's a handlebar, integrated handlebar stem setup.
Is that thing you stick your towel on,
Super
Rob?
Aero. save you 20 watts.
Why is it called a cockpit? Is it because you're piloting the bike? Is that it?
That's right.
The technology on it nowadays is pretty much a cockpit. You got all the integrated wires. You got your head. What is it? Head unit now, rather than a bike computer.
Yeah, they call it a head unit.
Oh, everything wants to be like military, don't they? They all want to sound like that. It's like when they do a project at work, it's like executive order and all this. You're like, come on, you're just telling us what to do. Don't.
So did that new bike help your ZRS score? Did it go up or down with the new bike?
It made my score go up and then it went back down. So
Are you a yo-yoer? I'm a yo-yoer.
yeah, my score about a week and a half ago was like 680, almost 690, and then I didn't do so well in a couple of races. Went all the way down to 620, and then they had the and then it went. We had the realignment the other day, and it went back up to 650 something, and then I podiumed a race, and it went down a point. So
Right.
go figure, right?
Should we talk about the first part of the Omnishambles? There's sorry, I'll just say hello to everyone in the chat. We have Pete Twig. Oh, his score. Shout out your score changes this week. I think I've been from A to B to A to B to A to B 6 times in the last fortnight. I think I've done 6 completed yo-yos. That's got to be some sort of record. I did 2 in one day once, and that was only doing 1 race. Went up, down. Right. So Peter Twig, Dwayne, Thomas, Niall, Steph. Oh, look, he's here. Dwayne again, Dave B. Ben, you're here in person, so I shan't
Yeah,
thank you
I'm
twice.
there.
Oh, but welcome, Ben, as well. I'm sorry, Ben. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I got a bit of a chest cough at the moment, so I've been trying to do the Tigers, I think that's what it's called, the sort of 8-day event. But my score's been dropping because I've just been riding it as just an excuse to get on the bike. So I've only done sort of 2 races, but don't sprint for the finish. So, sandbagging my ZRS score.
Oh, now Niall, I'm not sure if he's joking or not, but Niall says his score is 995.
You can I never know where Niall's joking. He's always
I have seen
comes
some
into my stream.
crazy stuff. We'll talk about it a little bit more in a minute. Sean, how you doing? And Lex Snapper. Hello, all. And Thomas Sorensen. Did I say Thomas Sorensen? If not, oh, Catman. Right. I'm going to get up the bizarre goings on with Zwift Racing Score this week. I don't know if you've heard the latest news. Where's my where do I keep my images? Keep them. Is it here? Oh, it's just me in the images. There you go. You've been locked out of the podcast. Where's 3+ images? I've got one. That's 3+ images. Oh, what? Oh, there we go. We're all together. And Ben, you're nicely separating us as well with our.
Yeah, you're not sitting next to each other anymore.
Yeah. So on Tuesday, they announced that they were changing the seed formula, and they were just going to make it like, in the old days when it was 20 minutes power in effect. They were just 10 minutes power, and it was 10 minutes watt per kilogram. I think pure 10 minutes watt per kilogram from what I can work out, or some derivation of that. I just couldn't believe it when I read it, and I was like, well, that can't be right. They must be doing something else as well, because that would be utterly stupid. And sure enough, that is what they've done. They did 10-minute power. So everyone who was light. So Niall might not be joking. I think he went up to. He'll have been in the 900s. I bet he'll have been in the 900s if he just did 10 minutes watts per kilogram. Chris,
yeah, I mean, now you have one of the highest watt per kilos for 10 minutes in the game. So,
and
also the 60 and 70-year-old races.
Yeah, and that is just okay. Maybe. Okay, 30-second power was over-egged in the last one. Now I could have told them. Yeah. I could have told them when they did Racing Score the first iteration that, yeah, of course, 30-second power dominates when your pens are set by 20-minute power. If you set the pens by that way, then the people who win are going to be the people with the 30-second power in general, because there tends to be flat races, or even if there's not, you can, anyway.
I just don't enter them, they're not.
And then, once they changed it so that all the sprinters were put together, I could have said, oh, now that you've put all the sprinters together, the people with the 10 and 20-minute power will win. So they've changed it to the 10-minute power, and now all the people with the sprints will win. The most frustrating thing is, why aren't they talking to people and listening? What on earth has gone through their... And I don't know about where you work or what you do. I don't care, frankly. But whenever we do something that affects different, parts of the customer base, we have to consider it. So we have to look at gender, race, social mobility, social class. We have to look at all these things. Now, where I work for a bank, we have to do that kind of legally. But they've just ignored women. Pretty much just ignored women.
When you read through it, it sounds like it actually makes sense, but then yeah, as the results has come out, it's a little bit weird. Like I went up in the initial recalculation, but then when I recalculated everything, I went massively down again. So my floor was like 520, but then I went back down to like 370 or whatever it was. But why 10-minute power when pretty much it's generally accepted that 5-minute power is the power for Zwift racing?
Well,
So
the news today is that... What have I done there?
you got the next
What
segment.
is
Like,
going
okay,
on?
no more
we're
ZRS.
going everywhere. Oh, Ben's gone now.
That's all right.
There you go.
Right, next slide is what I wanted. Sorry, excuse me. Oh, now this is off the side. Stupid image. Right, I'm gonna have to. Right, basically they've gone with what Zwift Racing, said our app uses. So they've gone with 5-minute power, 5-minute critical power today, and it's going to be done tomorrow. But what a shambles! Why? If they'd asked right at the start, there'd been loads of analysis went into Zwift Racing app to work out that was about the best to use. You're clicking again, Ben. I'm sorry. So, why is it taking until now to do it? And then why are they? Sorry.
I don't know if it's me making that noise. I can hear something. That's not me though.
Is it not? I'll try and mute you.
It's not me.
Is it? Can anyone in the crowd say if there's some clicking noise coming through, or whether it's just my end? I'm sorry. I'm just gonna.
It sounds like something sort of like a gear rolling or something.
Yeah, doesn't it? It sounds like
anyway. It's part of the background noise for the stream. So yeah. I got my fan off. It's not me.
So
I can't hear anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, to just completely ignore it's a fitness app, so it shouldn't really be, and this was massively, that would massively benefit heavier riders. That's not a good idea, is it? And if we say benefit is, you get to race in lower categories, and we say that, punishment is you have to ride in higher categories. Let's just say that, even though it's a bit weird to say ranking higher is worse. But in general, people want to have a chance at winning a race, and getting a trophy is pretty much a reward, is it not? So, that's all just a bit weird, and to just ignore women. They wouldn't have had to look at many women. I tried to get some examples, but like Kristen Kilchudski, it was 9:05 apparently after this update. She's awesome. She is utterly awesome.
Yeah.
But in mixed races, on flat-ish, on general courses, obviously she'd do very well on a 5-minute hill climb in a mixed race. But in most races,
yeah, 9 somethings. Yeah, I mean she's good, but yeah, that's just not right at all.
I mean, she's utterly awesome. She's utterly awesome in her category. And in women's racing overall, she's awesome. She's just awesome. But mixed races is not the same thing, is it? And she should be able to compete in mixed races in a reasonable category. Maybe she's been in top category. Could well be, but she's got no chance of ever being there if she's that high, and ever mixing it up. So like I've done 1,046 races, mainly in B category, and I think I would eat my sweaty bib shorts if women have won more than 5 of those, and it's probably 1 or 0. So because the category enforcement system was completely set against them because it was 1 per kilogram, and now they're changing to anyway. So this is the better one. So they've changed it. Good, well done. But
I hope they change it every week. You go onto Facebook, there's always one group of people that absolutely like, this is terrible, I'm cancelling the license from Zwift, and then the next week they're happy, and then another group's really unhappy.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like seeing some of the people annoyed. Some of the people I've been annoyed of, it's really pleased me. But the this is just, to just, and like the women who I know who are in my Discord group, they just say, yeah, it's fine. I'm in D card. I can undo 3.4 and my watts, my 10 minutes, 146 watts or something. I think you've got no chance. You've literally got no chance. And you say, hey, it's fine. Like, really? And a lot of people do like racing up, and if you never won a race, I suppose, I don't know whether the person has. Sorry, I'm trying to caveat everything I say. Anyway, Roy, what was your story with your racing score?
Well, when I recategorized, it went up about 40 points last week, and it didn't change that. Well, it changed a little bit, but it was a little low. 620 is pretty low. I got the ZRL race. I got dropped right away on the Metropolitan. So
on that climber about 3K in.
Yeah, I had a little dropout and just like 2 seconds, and that was about it. But so I rolled around with the chase group, and just because of that, my score dropped like 40 points, and then I did a recovery ride after that in an event, and then it went down another 15 points. So it went down a whole bunch, but it kind of corrected itself. For me, I'm kind of in the middle, so it's fairly accurate, I would say.
Yeah, I think I got pushed up, so I won a race on Going Coastal. Well, it was a good race. Did a breakaway from the beach, DJ attack as it's sometimes known, and managed to hold them off. That was quite good. So I think that pushed me up into A again, into the top category again, and then when the score recalculation thing, I think it went to 690 and then it went to 699. So, yeah, and I made a New Year's resolution last year that I would stay in ACAT all year, and I lasted about 2 weeks. I've barely been. I've maybe been back for in Zwift Racing Score I've been up there briefly, but I'm going to stay there all next year. I'm not going to go back until the end of the year. I'm going to stay at least till the end of the year, and I'm going to make another New Year's resolution to stay there, and maybe even get the pace category back up as well.
So is it live now, the anti-sandbagging thing? So where if you don't do a certain amount of effort, the result gets annulled?
Well,
they claim they do all the rides, right? Even if it's not a race, all your efforts count.
That's for 10-minute power, I think.
Yeah, they did mention an anti-sandbagging thing. I don't know if that was on my previous slide.
Yeah, because what I was thinking about the other day, because when I did my TT on that first stage, my bike wasn't even on the trainer when the gun started. So I was getting my bike onto the trainer. I was like, well, this is how many times I could do. So I started 5 minutes late. And my fit file, like I didn't ride hard, but if my fit file was showing that I was absolutely killing myself, but I still got last by 5 minutes, that would have been a way around this anti-sandbagging thing. Because, I would have come dead last. But it showed that I did a massive effort. So I was thinking with Roy and his 2-second dropout, which made you drop from the group, there's going to be some issues with sandbagging where they can't pick it up because your fit file shows that you're working bloody hard. It's just something's happened that means your result's actually terrible.
Yeah, I mean the one that I want them to stop particularly is people who stop on the line. So they win the race and then they'll stop and then wait for everyone to pass them.
Yes, they win but not win.
Yeah, exactly. Not content with sandbagging, but they also want to win. Come on, you can't have it both ways.
Yeah, but it's starting to rain here, so let me know if it gets too noisy.
Oh, I'm glad about that.
Wow.
Because it's terrible weather here. Oh, Roy, what about you're in California? What did you get did you have to scramble onto a rooftop or anything with the tsunami warning?
It was several hundred miles north of me off the coast, so. But I didn't get the tsunami warning. I saw it later in the day. Everybody's asking if I'm okay, and
that was a good warning.
I know. Yeah, I noticed it when they called the warning off, but I didn't feel a thing. But it was a big earthquake, 7.0 on the Richter scale. So.
Jeez. That's huge. And are you close to the coast? Like, are you low ground?
Yeah. I'm about 25 miles from the beach, so I'm getting ready to move a lot closer. But
Not after this.
I'll be about 2 miles from the beach when we get
Well, the
get
cat's
the new
back.
place ready. What's that?
What is
Oh,
that
what?
noise?
It's definitely your end. I can see the thing flickering. I can see the
Really?
level flickering. Yeah, 100%,
Let me just-
yeah.
Let
Although,
me just pause my mic.
What? Oh, your setup. What is that? What is that screen that you? That's a real
Is that
screen.
better?
No, it's no different at all. Can people in the?
It's some kind of feedback. Let me just...
Is it?
Yeah, it's some kind of feedback coming from... Because it's coming through to my speakers.
What?
I'm not
Yeah,
quite
the-
sure why.
Yeah, the sound on the stream, the YouTube stream.
Yeah.
No, it's all off.
Yeah,
YouTube's
that
not playing. My system's all off. It's just coming straight through from Video Ninja. Don't know why.
Wow.
That's weird.
Yeah. If people can tell us if they're hearing a constant clicking noise, though, it's going to drive me insane. Oh,
I think they could hear it in the chat. There it
It's
goes.
just
Go on again.
What?
I don't know what it
Okay.
is. It's coming back through because it's not in my. It's not where I am. It's just coming through Video Ninja.
Oh, I wonder if my new headset is causing it. My new call center headset. Right. Yeah, it's maybe Zwift. Peter suggested it's maybe Zwift, like trying to interfere. They're sending signals. Stop it! We're trying to do our best. Leave us alone.
They're
I tell you what,
reclassifying your audio.
I've decided to ratchet up my Zwift criticism because they've started ignoring my emails like completely. I used to ask them, "Oh, can you tell me when the segments are?"
How many
And it's
emails do you
great.
send them?
Quite a lot. Like for a points race, WTRL like, no, we're not going to tell you what the points are. We're not going to tell you what the segments are until the week before. Like that's really annoying if I'm trying to do a recon. So I used to email them and say, can you let me know? And they'd say, we'll try. And occasionally they did. And then now they're just like not even responding.
Gone on Christmas holidays already.
Sorry?
Gone on Christmas holidays already.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is like for a month.
Maybe
Sounds
they're
about
heading
right.
to high water because ZHQ is right near the beach.
Oh, there's that noise again.
What is it?
I'm gonna try and figure this out. Give me a second.
Did you say you got speakers? No, that's not it. Right, I'm going to try and mess around with in the control room. So if I mute you, oh, that makes no difference. If I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Do I? If I knew I was, see, it does sound like a fan. It sounds exactly like a fan coming to rest. Can you hear me, Ben?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Right, so that's Zwift Racing Score. Rubbish. But they're going to 5 minutes.
Should be able to hear me. Can I hear you though?
I don't know. Can you hear me? It doesn't seem like you can hear me anymore. And you haven't got any. What? Your volume's gone to 0. Have I done that? What? And now I can't hear you, and you can't hear me. Right. I'll tell you
He's
what,
not
Roy.
saying anything.
I'll tell you what, Roy. No, he's not, is he? Should we have a look at the race that you did? I know I'm springing this
Sure.
on you, but I didn't. So this was your going coastal one, and I've only shown it from sort of last 5 minutes. Is that Simon Baker? Is that look? I think Simon Baker is in the chat in your race. Might be. Could be another Baker, I suppose. And you got Robert Detmar. So were you working with
Yes.
him, or it was just coincidence, or you just?
He's my teammate, but yeah. He he's on the west coast of the U.S. too, so that's kind of our time slot.
Right. So how had it gone up to this stage? How had the flat being just been boring, and the little bumps?
Yeah, little bumps. Got a few efforts, but I mean, you can see my power graph on
Oh,
the
yeah,
bottom there.
Yeah, yeah.
So nothing crazy, but
So perfect position there. Always taking. Do you actually count the number of riders? To, like try and get 3 or 4 in front of you.
no, it's weird now. I don't feel comfortable unless I'm about there. If I'm further back, I start to feel anxious, so I push.
Oh,
And if I'm too far forward, I let off. So it's kind of a
do you think that's due to changes, or is it changes in the drafting or anything, or in is it just how you feel about it?
just in general. I don't like being on the front, obviously,
Yeah.
unless you're going too slow. But I don't have the raw horsepower to really push the pace on anything more than. Okay, so this race surprised me. They were going pretty early.
Right.
So
I wonder if that is Sam. Oh, right, it's not Sam. Yeah. So yeah, if you got to be off the front like that, I mean, don't you just? It's not Sam. Thankfully, it isn't Simon who's in the chat. Like, what is the point in being like 10 meters off the front? Really? I think I would have started a bit further back because he's not going anywhere, is he? He's doing like 4.5. Oh, mind you, I suppose if no one chases, it is a good one to get a bit of a gap on. It does sound like a PC fan. Ben, can you hear us or not?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Right, okay.
Coming. I turned off the Video Ninja, and it's coming from Video Ninja, so it's not me.
What?
It's definitely not me.
It's coming through.
It's coming through on mine, but it's because
It is?
Fan, Roy?
No,
You're
nothing.
guessing
I got
too, aren't
nothing
you?
going on here.
Yeah, it's definitely coming through. On yours.
Wait, mute Roy and then see if it goes away.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I can't hear it anymore. I can hear it again.
Oh yeah, it goes if I mute Roy. Yeah, it definitely goes.
I've been chasing possums around my shed. I couldn't figure it out.
Sorry. Oh, there it go. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone completely. But can I hear you, Roy?
I can't hear Roy though. Roy says quit. It's just.
Oh, but this is perfect. This is.
Welcome to the next podcast next week.
We can't hear you, Roy.
He's back.
Yeah, so this is perfect. Roy position, tail gunning as we used to call it. We can't hear you, Roy. Yeah, I forgot.
Can you hear us, Roy?
Oh.
No, can't hear you.
Yeah, I can't. Oh, have I muted him? Maybe I've muted him. No, I haven't. No, I haven't.
You've done the Nathan Kraken where you've muted Rob. Why can't I hear you, Rob? Rob, we can't hear you. Oh, I muted you.
Oh, yeah, so perfect position here. Is Lado off the front still? I don't think he is. This has gone a bit chaotic, hasn't it? I can't hear you. We can't hear you, Roy. But yeah, it's taking up a nice position there. Can't hear you, Roy. Let's do whatever.
This is good. Yeah. While you're trying to sort that out, Roy, this is good, Rob. I like it how it's actually at normal speed, so you can see actually what's happening in the final kilometers.
Oh, you don't like the speeded up thing, do you? I really like it.
No, I don't like it at all. I don't know if the rest of the chat, but it just like, and then you're like, the race is over. It's like, I don't know what happened.
Well, someone is off the front. Oh, they did get a good gap. I was completely wrong about them pushing off the front. Oh, now we can hear Roy, but it's kind of a staticky thing I can hear now. Speak, Roy. No, can't hear you. I can just hear static.
I can hear the static, but no Roy.
How about?
Oh, yes,
there we go. I can hear the.
But you've come back with the clicky and a bit of static. But it's better than no Roy.
Yeah.
How's this?
Yes, perfect.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
Yay.
that's wonderful. Yeah,
Just in time for the finish,
Well,
Roy. So what happens here, Roy?
There's a couple off the front. A couple.
yeah, it's really spread out. You very rarely see that, is it? There's like 5 separate riders.
It always
off the
looks
front.
slow every day, Zwifter,
Oh
after
yeah,
you
there was a.
speed
This
it
was
up.
just when they reclassified, and there were a couple of there was like 2 A pluses and an A that took off.
Maybe it is slowed down. Is it slowed down, Rob?
Yeah, slow down a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah, they started going super early, so I'm doing everything I can to keep up here. So
Oh, it's at 50%. Oh, what? Oh, God.
There we go.
Oh.
That's good positioning at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, you weren't going to go with those guys off the front, were you? You're just going to stay in
No.
that guy's draft. It's just ebbing off, but you've got it back. 171. I like your draft gauge being right in the middle. That's good. Oh, loads of draft.
oh, there goes.
Oh, just off. But yeah, regain the draft just in time. It didn't have a power up. Did you get the ghost?
No,
or something?
a ghost. At a ghost.
A lot of rubbish. These
The useless
ones.
power up.
These ones
Yeah, I
where
hit
there's
it.
just 2 power ups. Oh, keep
Yeah, I'd
going,
much
keep
rather
going,
take
keep
an error over a ghost any day.
Yeah. Oh, nice done, Roy. Yeah, these ones where there's just 2 power-ups, that's just pants, isn't it? You know, you only get 2 power-ups, and it's a 50-50 between one that's absolutely rubbish and one that's awesome. what, you know?
I mean, if you're really strong, a ghost is good. But if you're really strong, you don't need a power up anyway.
Yeah. I mean, it looks good, and I got the ghost. But if you get 2 ghosts out of 2, really?
Yeah.
It's a bit too much.
I think I had to.
Especially as you often use the arrow just to rest. Like if people you get two arrows compared to someone who gets 2 ghosts, that's so much more effort they've had to put in during some part of the race.
Yeah.
So nice race, Roy. I thought we'd also talk about Zwift ZRL this week is a scratch race. Oh no, it's technically a points race, but it's effectively a scratch race. ZRL used to all be about points, and now it's just going to scratch race, and then effectively a scratch race.
PTs.
Yeah, TTs. Why is it so rubbish?
I don't mind the TTs. I'm actually one of the few people who would just prefer to have 6 TTs in a row because they say, oh, you can do a TT every week, but it's not a rolling series. So what I like is 6 TTs in a row so that you can actually win a series. Every week it's just resets. Plus there's a lot of cheats in the other one. So the more TTs, the better, I reckon. But I'm a very small minority when it comes to that.
Yeah. Could you not just do the TTT series, which is on every Thursday?
Yeah, but it's not actually like accumulating score. Like if they accumulated, say, 10-week series, then it would be good. But the thing is, every week it just resets. And also the way it's a different structure to ZRL because you got Frappe and Doppio and all those, whereas you can actually have a completely different team in each. So it's different. People say it's the same, but it's not. It's different. So, but I know I'm a very small minority because most people hate doing TTTs.
Yeah. I can't get this full image on. I don't know why it's gone like this.
While you're trying to do the image, the other thing I wish that they did do, if they're going to go away from points races, make the very first race of the round an individual time trial so that they can sort out who's got what power, because that's a great way to go. Okay, you're going to cut up, so you might as well cut up the very first round and then teams can sort themselves out.
Yeah. Okay, that shows a bit more of it. So yeah,
that was an important part of the graph you're missing.
It's
there you go.
Quite a crucial bit there, isn't it? A massive hill. Oh, it looks flat.
There's a great stage.
So there's one sprint
and that's at 15 kilometers. So it's not real, and because, and then, and then the final, the up the hill at the top of the hill, there's FTS, FAL, finish points, and podium bonus points. So 75% of the points are on the hill. So there's, and
Damn
you know,
climbers.
if you
They
go
don't deserve anything.
if you go for the sprint, then if I went all in for that sprint, I might get 4 points or something like that. I might get 4 points, but then I'm going to lose 20 places on the climb if I go for the sprint. So there's just no point, is there? If I go all in for the sprint.
Well, how many points are you going to get on the climb?
Well, not many, but if I lose 20 maybe, so out of a race of 70, I would think maybe I'd get about 50th, I would think. Hopefully.
There's a long ways, a lot of rest in between the sprint and the beginning of the climb, though.
There is, that's true. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to. There's just no point going for. I was thinking actually, is there a point in going
Roy's
for a
right
breakaway?
though.
Because there's no.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Roy might have a good point. Everyone's going to be thinking about the hill, so everyone's going to sprint and then to stop. So you might have a chance to actually go, okay, ignore the sprint. Not everyone, but most people will have a go at the sprint. But then you come through, once the pack's slowed up, you just come through with the momentum and try for a breakaway.
Yeah,
it probably won't work, but if you're not a climber,
I think you get a feather. Well, you do get a feather at the mole sprint as well. And it's uphill all the way to Trafalgar. And it actually gets up to like 2-3% there. So use your feather straight away. Why not? To get the breakaway.
I don't think you'll stay away if you're not a climber, but it's better than it gives you a chance. If you don't want to be by yourself.
If people were rational, they'd just ignore me and go, "Oh, it doesn't really matter, just one person." But they're not rational. They're completely irrational. They will chase me down. It's not worth chasing me down. They should just let me go.
Sitting here without having to do the pedaling, it sounds like it makes perfect logical sense. But after the sprint, my brain be like, nah, abort.
We have one guy on our team. It's 120 kilos, so we hitch our wagon to his wheel and go.
Yeah.
So
Get that guy on the front. Can he sprint?
He can sprint he's got a decent sprint, but he's a road grader on the flat.
I was going to say, once he gets up to speed, there ain't much stopping that.
No, he can hold.
There was more of a descent after so it's at this point at 15, and it's quite early on in this hill. So that hill is up to Trafalgar Square from the mall. Obviously, you don't know London as well as I do, probably, but
it's surprisingly how much of a grind it is after that, because it's something it's just flat. When you come the other direction, you don't really notice it downhill because you're usually buggered coming from the other direction, but it is a long grind.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think most people know that the mole sprint in the forward direction, so the other direction that we're doing it in this one, is, it is downish, isn't it? And if you get some speed over that bump, then, it is hard to catch you, especially if you use a ghost or something. So it's just I would like to go on a breakaway, but it's just you'd be knackered by the time we get to the hill. Because the thing is, I was thinking, but you won't get any draft on the hill, but there's no draft on that hill anyway. You go so slow. There's no draft there.
It's
it's getting to the hill, I suppose, isn't it?
There is those little dips though, and so it's really important if you actually if you've got 2 or 3 wheels ahead of you, that you get that draft on those little dips.
Yeah.
So that is pretty crucial if you are doing it. That's what's helped. I'm not very good at that hill, but that's what's given me my best results, is when we've got people who just keep pulling and you manage to hold on to them just before you get to those little dips, and then you get a bit of momentum.
Oh, here's one for you then, because you also get a so you get a feather at the mole sprint reverse after you've done it. So you have an aero. So you get aero for the sprint. Obviously, you're going to use it at the sprint. Then you get a feather, and then you get an aero at the lap banner. So you can choose whether you want to keep your feather. Obviously, if you need to use your feather, I think my key tip is going to be, if you're getting dropped at the sprint, use your feather on that uphill. You may as well use it there because you're going to get an aero, which is nearly as good for Keith Hill. Because I reckon on that dip, a feather, in pure time, if we ignore all, drafting and whatever else, I think an aero would be better on this route. I think it'd gain you more time on the dip than a feather will gain you on the up. What do you reckon?
Yeah, it's one of those situations though. Roy, do you agree that you sometimes using the aero, you hit the front and then you're just pushing harder in it because you're hitting the wind. If you don't, that aero can push you forward. And so sometimes I feel like I weight an aero because of that.
Yeah, I do like the aero. I usually don't go shooting through the group, so I think it depends on your weight in relationship to everybody else's kind of weight around you. So if you're one of the heavier riders, you're just gonna go straight through, I think. So
well, I mean, I would say it's sort of another dimension to it as well is I won't be sticking with the front group, but I could maybe use the aero to get up to a group ahead of me. You know what I mean? So I could, and then
You said there's no draft there, Rob. So what's the point of getting to the group?
No, there isn't. There is the only place that there's draft is at the bottom of that dip. So you'll because you'll have both speed and it's flat. At the bottom of that dip, so it goes down at about 6%, so you get plenty of speed. Maybe even a little super tuck. Who knows? I wouldn't have thought so, but no, that speed. You'd be. This you'd be like, woo!
I can see what you're talking about because you get momentum into the climb then.
yeah.
Yeah.
How about bike choice, bike and wheel choice?
Do you know? I hate to reveal this, but I don't really know much about it, and I have to give a bike recommendation every week, and I'm like, definitely the Tron, 100% is the fastest choice for this course, because people demand to know what I think. I'm like, I don't bloody know. Doesn't make any difference.
Yeah, if you're a sprinter, you want to obviously go the fastest bike, and if you're not a sprinter, you need to go have a fast bike to stay in with the group. But then
the pace is likely going to be slow, isn't it?
Yeah.
Other than for the sprint, it's going to because there's going to be no point. Maybe in the A races, someone will make a go for it, but in most races,
as it finishes on the top of the climb, this is one of the few cases where I'd go for a climbing wheels. I'd go the Scott Addict or this is one of the few because this is one of the few times that I'm going to lose a few seconds on the climb. I'm going to go with the feather. I'm not going to go with the aero because when I get to those red bricks, I'm absolutely dying. And if I have a feather near those red bricks, it makes such a difference. And much more difference to me for my style is having a feather compared to the aero. I don't care about the aero on that flat bit. I'm going to get draft anyway. I'm going to fall back to the group behind me if I have to.
When you say climbing wheels, what are you talking?
Anything that isn't a disc. So whatever the 7.8s or even the 3.4s.
I'm not going Meilensteins or whatever they're called.
Not the Meilensteins. Never. The Meilensteins are rubbish. Never go Meilensteins.
Okay.
Absolutely.
If you look at Zwifter bike, they're saying the on that climb though, the Meilensteins are I think 4 seconds faster.
Yeah, but you've got to get in there. You've got to get him there, haven't you? That's the problem.
Then like on the like the Addict and the Meilensteins are about 4 seconds faster than the Tron.
Yeah, but I'd dump the Meilensteins and do the 3.4s because they're not much slower. They're very. Or what's the other one? The Rovals as well. But I think the Rovals have got rubbish aerodynamics as well, whereas the 3.4s have got half decent aero. But I definitely ditched the disc. This is one of the very few courses I ditched the disc.
Tron, just take Tron.
No, I never go Tron. Tron's boring.
It's boring, but it's the best. It's like, and it's very rarely wrong, is it? It's not like you've made a disastrous choice there if you're on the Tron. If you've got the Tron,
it's like turning up in a Honda. everyone's got one. This is a boring, safe choice.
The Tron was just about the same as most of the other choices. So the only one that had the clear advantage was the lightweights, the Rovals or the Meilensteins.
Yeah. But and also I wouldn't use the Athos. I'd definitely go the Scott Addict.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, I love the Scott Addict. I remember watching Eric Lee drop cycling, and he did the London Loop, and that isn't even as big a climb, is it? Is it Fox Hill or Box Hill? And it's only like 3 or 4K to the climb, and he got dropped before the climb. He was on the stupid climbing wheels. What's going on? I was like, because you stupid wheels, Eric. You know,
that had to be one of his really early on ones, because he rarely.
I was watching.
No, that's. Oh, what?
Like
wow.
Less than a year ago.
Was it just going hard?
Yeah,
Was it just going hard before the climb?
Yeah, pretty hard, but it was just on stupid wheels. I've never ever put them on for anything.
Don't tell me you can't get dropped on don't get dropped. Where is Eric? He's not even in the chat.
Well, thank you. He let me use his video this week for the recon ride, so I very much appreciate that. And sorry to bring up his worst ride. I think he's been doing really well in races this week.
Yeah, can I use your worst ride for this week?
No, he wasn't terrible on this. He was awesome on this. Right. What's the chat saying? It's a 14-minute climb, says Dave B. I'm not doing a 14-minute climb. I think I might have to hold it on Tuesday. Oh no, I'm getting my toenails done. Yeah. Oh man, Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday night, toenail night. Oh no, what a shame. Pinarello DT Swiss discs. Yeah, that sounds good, Miguel. Go for it. Yeah, I like. Miguel knows what he's doing. Yeah, I agree.
The Pinarello 7.8 is always a pretty decent choice too.
Sounds good.
I don't think I got those wheels yet. I've stopped buying stuff ages ago, and it's like I've got everything else is my legs. That's what I'm missing. Wish I could buy them in the drop shop.
Yes. So the only other thing I had to talk about, unless anyone's got anything more to say on the Keith Hill after party, is that apart from, we're going to talk about Zwifting and weight loss, but this is the route for next week on ZRacing, which I really like if I'm in the second category, but I hate if I'm in the top category. So for some reason, it doesn't look like it should always come down to a sprint, but it all seems to. It seems like I should be able to get away on the first time on the climb, but I never do. I suppose it's which way up the hill is it? I never seem to get away this way. Oh yeah, it's a bit too. This is the short way up the hilly column, isn't it?
Yeah, so the forward column.
Oh, I love being in a breakaway on the S's, and this would be ideal because you do the S's twice each lap. So you do the S's twice each lap, then you go up hilly column, the short way, and the steep way, which should in theory be better for me. So I don't know why I hate it. But
what's your technique with going up the hilly column? Like I'll tell you what my technique is. I always hold back until you get to that flat section.
Yeah.
And then use the draft to accelerate. And then I just basically, I don't care about the top. I just go as hard as I can from there and then grovel my way around the corner.
Yeah, I aim for the corner. I remember I was DSing a race and I was like, just make it to the corner. The corner's all you care about. Just make it to the corner. And then they got to the corner and were like, there's more to go. You just carry on.
Yeah.
I know it's all
just get to the next bit. Yeah, because I don't know if it's the best way, but I feel like you get a launching pad out of that flat section. Everyone else eases up. And if you can get a draft and get some momentum, you get absolutely launched up that climb. And it's quite short. It just looks like a bloody long way.
Yeah, I do like the straight ones where you can see the end. Well, it's not really the end of it, but you can see a target to aim for. That's the end of the steep bit, isn't it? It's the end of the steep bit. And I don't know if it's psychology. Do you think there's some psychology in as well? Like, right, stay in the draft till the first corner. Stay in the draft like typhoon.
No, definitely. There's a massive boost with that draft, I'm sure. Because because a lot of people I think ease up on that flat section.
Well, they should.
And so you get about 10, 15 kilometers an hour advantage on them. And to accelerate another 10, 15 kilometers an hour on a hill takes so much more effort. So
you actually so you sit back off them, or you're not bothered about the draft, or
The first section I'll do like 80% power. Like I'm not going as hard as I can up that first section. When you get to that little flat section, that's when, okay, this is a time to go. Obviously, you don't want to go too slowly, but I try and save myself. It's like a sprint, basically. It's like, okay, get to the flat section. That's when the sprint actually starts.
Yeah, if I do,
It's all fun. It's all fun and games until they start to drop you on that steep bit.
Yeah, and the other thing is that first section over the bridge is critical. If you time it wrong and you hit the front just as you hit that steep section, you've wasted so much energy.
That's
so
right.
It's really difficult to make sure you're at the back crossing the bridge, getting momentum that you don't hit the front until that very first corner. If you get to that first corner in front, there's no draft, so it makes no difference. If you got the momentum, you can just get there. But if you hit the front just as you start hitting the climb, then it's like, oh man, I stuffed up. This is gonna hurt.
And I know why it's so hard to get a breakaway on this one, because you can get a lead over the top. If you do it the other way, if you get 3 seconds over the top, at the banner, then you're sorted, aren't you? You just swoop down the hill, boom, usually finish in the beach. It's fine. But this way, there's that long. People tend to like, oh, we'll just stick together. Then he's gone on his own. Oh, we'll just stick together. We'll get him on that descent, and they always get you on that long descent, don't they? Horrible.
Well, the
They just stick
big key bit is
together,
after
bully you.
you go down that descent, and then you do that right turn into that little hill, and if you've got a little bit of draft, you can kick up that hill through the draft, and you get so much momentum. Like you probably gain 5 seconds or so on anyone who's out the front. And it's a bit less than now that with the pack dynamics, the previous pack dynamics where everyone just zoom past each other, but it's still, you can still gain so much momentum into that little kicker. It doesn't look like a kicker when you're looking at the hill, but that's the kicker I'm always looking at after the banner. It's like, okay, get draft and then kick into that section with, you get into 20 kilometers an hour over everyone else and you just zoom off. You won't get away to the finish, but you'll catch up anyone who's got away on the climb.
The prize for being solo through the S's twice is just enormous, especially if you've got steering and you know how to modulate your power through the bumps. I would say in general, against a chasing pack through the S's, I gain like 10 seconds just once through the S's. Because you just, you take the shortest line, but it's mainly about just pushing on the up bits and dropping on the descents, and you could just and then hit that last the big bump, hit the big bump hard because you've saved so much compared to a group. It's just so. I really want to be solo through those essays. I'm in the
All
top.
right, I'm looking forward to that, Rob.
I'm in the top category now, so that's not. It's just not gonna. I'm not going to get up that bloody way. I like being a B and a C. I still feel like I should be a C. Right.
I don't think so. I'm a C. No way you should be a C.
So I wanted to talk about. I haven't got any slides or anything, but I wanted to talk about Zwifting for weight loss. I'm not sure what.
Yeah, it's 50 minutes into it. We should talk about the main topic.
Okay.
Yeah, we've brought them all here. So. Do you want to talk about your weight loss story, Roy?
Yeah. Well, I started off about 212 pounds at my highest weight, and I'm not very tall, so.
Right. So
in
metric, that's nearly 100, isn't it? I suppose. Is it? Yeah.
100 kilos. Yeah. Yeah. But before I started riding, I had shed about, 10 pounds, so 10, 12 pounds, something like that. And I started riding outside, which I started losing weight gradually over time. And then,
sorry, just before we go into that, do you mind talking about how you got there? Has it been a long accumulation of sedentariness, or you tell me, or not tell me. It's up to you.
More couch potato kind of thing. My son was growing up. I was coaching a lot of baseball, working crazy hours. I had my own business. So I was working, 80 hours a week doing that. And so a lot going on. And
Oh, go
yeah,
Dodgers, by the way. We're both Dodgers
Yeah.
fans. Ooh, world champions.
finally, yeah, not finally, but yeah, it was a good season. So, yeah, so I finally decide. Well, it was my sister that kind of pushed me. She's a triathlete.
Oh,
So, and see, I'm built like my mom, kind of short and stout, and she's built like my dad. She's like a long distance runner. So, anyway, I'd gotten my old bike. I had an old Centurion racing bike from the mid '80s, and my son was taking it to college, so I pulled it out and out of the cobwebs, and I put it back together and let him ride it. And he gave it back as soon as he got a car there at university. So my sister said, "Okay, now it's time for us to go on a ride." And so she signed us up for a Century.
Your first ride, a Century.
Yeah.
not like
Only
I
said,
said 100 kilos.
yeah. And I said,
And this
okay,
is
well,
miles too, not just 100 Ks.
yeah, it was 100 miles.
Oh, yeah.
And so I signed up for one that was, in San Diego, which is, a couple hours away. But she goes, okay, let's do that one. And we signed up, and I started reading. I go, 7,000 feet of elevation. So 10 weeks to get ready.
10
So,
weeks?
yeah. So I did it. I rode 3-4 times a week. I was doing some yoga and some HIIT workout type workouts in between, and we did it, and we're one of the last ones rolling in at the end. So I still remember we were going up this long draggy climb, and this lady comes riding by me, and I look down at her. She's got one leg.
Yeah.
They're like, wait, shoot it.
So
Yes. Wait, don't.
yeah. But anyways, that kind of started my back into cycling.
I would have said, I would have maybe gone, no, I'm not cycling ever again.
Well, if you ever do running races, the thing, there's always a cameraman there, isn't there? And to take your photos. And the main thing that everyone's doing is like, oh no, is there someone like dressed as a nun, like running in front of me or something like or is there Father Christmas or Mr. Blobby or something? Oh, like you wouldn't know Mr. Blobby, but yeah, there's some weird like cartoon, massive costume behind you.
Yeah. I've done
what was the time?
What was the time?
Yeah.
We were like, it was quite a number of years ago now.
Oh yeah, how long
I'm
ago
gonna
is this?
2010 maybe.
Sorry, I'm like
So-
throwing 3 questions at you at once.
What drink did you drink?
Yeah, I'm thinking we were at like 9 hours, 10 hours, something like that. So maybe a little longer. So they were starting to take down the finish banner when we got there. So at the finish, but
that
Did you get
in
your
a way,
little-
it's almost
did they give
harder,
you-
isn't it?
yeah,
You've got to do, I mean, one of the things about that line is sitting on the seat for 9 hours.
Yeah.
Is bloody hard.
yeah.
So then you went, I want more of that after this.
It was okay. I was really tired, but I was happy I did it. So
How much weight did you lose from when your sister said we're signed up to the actual day of the event?
not that much. Maybe I don't know, 5 pounds, maybe. Not too much. That's not. I was I changed my diet a little bit, but yeah, not too much. But
That's interesting. I mean, when people start exercising, especially, like, I don't know about you, but if I went from sedentariness to, exercising quite a lot when I got Zwifting, and I think I just
kept my diet pretty much the same. And there's like homeostasis, isn't it? Your body wants to, oh no, I want to stay as I am. I've built all this up, reserves, just in case there's got to be a really bad harvest. There's going to be no berries this winter. I'm not going to get rid of it. So it does stuff to keep you otherwise sedentary or wherever. But yeah, there is the homeostasis. But yeah, if you keep at it, eventually it goes, okay, I'll let a little bit of it go.
Right. So after that, I started riding more, and over the next few years, I dropped maybe, I don't know, 30 pounds, 20, 25 pounds, something like that. And then when the pandemic finally hit, I kind of evened out for a while. The pandemic hit, and I started Zwifting. So, and then I dropped about 40 pounds.
Over like 6 months or so?
A year and a half.
Yeah.
Maybe a year.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's
So I went from
exactly what I did as well.
210. We started at about 210, 212 pounds. I got down to as low as I'd spent a while at 143 pounds. So I think I've gained some muscle. I gained a little weight too. So, but
That's not a bad thing. It's always good to gain muscle.
yeah. Yeah.
Well,
so
and fat isn't actually bad for you. A bit of fat isn't bad for you. It is quite good to have a layer of fat or two.
Especially when you get older. If you get to 70 or so, you need that little protection.
Well, I'm going to be there sooner than later. So
we're all going to get. Well, hopefully, we're all going to get there.
Yeah.
Welcome to the podcast. We're all 70, 80.
Yeah. Well, I'm 62, so I'm not.
Oh, are you really?
Not a spring chicken. Yeah.
Me. What was I going to say? The pandemic was brilliant, wasn't it? Apart from all those people dying and stuff, it was just awesome for getting into Zwift. And it was just a great time. As I say, I lost tons, and it was almost all in the first year. So I think I went from 100 down to 70. Oh no, 100 down to 80. Oh no, it was actually lower, 78. And I was the most powerful. God, that was brilliant. It was awesome, just riding all the time.
So what do you think was the key to the weight loss? Because that's the hardest thing. Is it's easy to go, okay, I'm going to lose weight, and then you lose weight, but then it comes back. As you said before, your body's like, wait a sec, I don't want to lose this weight. I want to be this certain weight. So how did you both get down and then stay down?
Do you want to go first, Roy?
Yeah, sure. I did change my diet. I started to concentrate on doing a little bit smaller portion sizes, have more on the protein, because what happened was I started Zwifting and I got addicted to racing. So I started racing almost every day, and my body couldn't take it. So I had to do something. I tried all kinds of things. I finally settled into taking amino acids and like a pre-workout before so I do all kinds of. I take tons of supplements. I use CBD cream on my quads before I ride.
What?
To CBD cream.
Oh, CBD cream?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Is that?
Have you ever heard?
Just get your thighs high. What's that about?
There's no THC in it. It's just the cannabinoid, which is the pain relief portion.
I don't know anything about that. Okay. Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Right.
So you don't have that, because obviously most people complain about having sore legs after riding so much. So you find that does alleviate a lot of that pain.
Yeah, as I start riding, and then the pre-workout kind of, it's got caffeine and beta alanine in it, so you get that nice burn from that. So anyway,
I think
you and Zwift Insider love. What Zwift Insider used to always have his how the race was lost or won. That's what he'd start off with his. What was the cream he used?
Oh, he uses that performance, that amp. I don't know the brand, but
Yeah. I just
PR
remember his
cream.
stories.
PR
Always started
cream.
off. Yeah, that's it. He always started off with how the race was lost, rubbing in his PR cream or whatever it was.
Yeah, I have friends that use that when we go outside and ride, and so.
I mean, I'm kind of. I think having I think what I changed, because people say it's like 80. The general rule, I think, is like people say it's 80% diet, 20% exercise for weight loss. As the thing, but I still haven't seen anything which disproves it's just calories in, calories out. Now it might be easier to control your diet. I think it, because most of my weight gain was through not caring about my diet. Oh, also
Yeah.
not doing any exercise. um, um,
Yeah, I think, yeah, because one of the things is when you're riding on Zwift, I mean, you can eat, but the thing is, you can't sit on the couch and eat a massive cake. So it's a bit like some people lose weight if you're just busy. You get busy because I'd gain weight because I'm just eating because I'm bored. And so for me, I think I lost weight, not so much from Zwifting, but just having something there so that I wasn't walking to the fridge and going, oh, I might have something else to eat now.
yeah, so they say that if you up your exercise, then you'll tend to eat more, and B, just naturally be more sedentary, so you might do less arm movement or whatever. Yeah, so you just your body compensates for it. That's why you need to concentrate on your diet. Now I would say two things. One, you can still choose what you eat. There's nothing. And I really used to relish this quite hungry feeling that I used to get. So I used to race. When I really lost lots of weight, I was racing twice a day most days, or at least half, maybe 3 or 4 times a week. So I'd race in the morning, race at lunchtime, or race at lunchtime and race at night. And I just used to feel this buzz, and I get like that hunger pang without it being painful, but just a nice kind of, like your mouth salivating, and you want to eat. But I was like, oh no, I'm doing it. And I always used to think that's when I've got to be losing weight. My body's telling me to eat. It wants to retain its fat, but I'm choosing not to go with it. And the other thing was that I just didn't have the choice to be sedentary. There was loads of stuff that I needed to do during lockdown. You know, it just happened to be that I couldn't be completely sedentary otherwise as well. I just, kids picking up and moving around, and there was just lots of stuff that I needed to do. I was volunteering for stuff, and I was just like, I had to walk around a lot. I didn't have a choice to be sedentary. So, and I was definitely going to race twice a day. But with regards to the diet, I'm like almost the opposite. I don't. It's not like I don't believe in it, but I don't really believe in supplements and stuff. It just seems like, I don't know, just like eat proper food.
Supplements or just
any
yeah.
supplements really. I occasionally have a multivitamin thing just because it tastes nice, but they're my children, so I shouldn't really.
I've got to take. I think this is really personal too because I have issues with taking magnesium. It's one of the things that always gets shown up that I have low magnesium. So always smashing magnesium because one of the things is I get bad cramps as a sort of a side effect. And so, yeah, I've got to take magnesium if I do the amount of exercise I do. Otherwise, I think it also gives me arrhythmia because when I did have arrhythmia, one of the things was they made sure that I had more magnesium because it can affect it. But apart from that, I always make sure I try and get more iron in, but you can get that with vegetables. But my diet was absolutely rubbish when I got to, I used to work in a restaurant, and so I'd be getting anything I wanted pretty much. Like we did weddings, and so of course we always had extra food left over because they'd start speeches and things, and then at the end of the night would have desserts, so be souffles and all those things, and I got to 104 kilograms working in a restaurant. And I didn't do an exercise for years, but I remember my very first bike ride, I was probably about 96 kilograms, and I was trying to ride to work, which is 3 kilometers away. And I had to go up a pretty steep hill. It was only a short pinch, but it was a bit like going up Libby Hill. And halfway up, I literally got off the bike and lay on someone's front yard. Just lay there looking at the sky. I was like, oh, Jesus, this was a bad idea. I've got to be at work in 20 minutes too. I thought I had lots of time. And I got to work, and it was just a small operation. We're doing helicopter flying, and I was doing loading, and the pilot looked at me, and it's like, are you okay? I was like, no. I'll go to the toilet. I went to the toilet and vomited up in the toilet. Because I was just so unfit. My body could not, I could not recover from the amount of lactate that I'd built up. It just couldn't clear it from my body.
It must have looked like you were like hungover or something. You were like, this guy.
Oh, yeah. He just thought I was going to. He was ready to call the ambulance. Yeah. So that was probably the most unfit I've ever been. But I was eating terribly. I'd obviously eat in the restaurants, and then when I started working with the flying company, like I was eating McDonald's, ice cream, chocolate. I still eat. I don't drink, but I eat lots of like sweet foods as my sort of a bad habit. But when I lose weight, that's pretty much the first thing I do. Is okay, no chocolate, just cut chocolate out of the diet altogether, and then try and fill up on vegetables, green vegetables, just so that I haven't got that hunger later on at night. Not snacking at 2 minutes before I go to bed.
I think
that's the other thing too.
When I gain weight is when I have. It's like, all right, I don't care. I'm too busy. I've got a business, I've got a job, I've got kids. I'm too busy to, and I just don't care. And I might occasionally think about it when I go on the scales or something. But if I'm so if I just don't prioritize, was I on mute?
No, I can hear you.
No?
Okay.
You can hear
Am
you.
I on mute now?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you are, Rob. I can't hear you.
I can hear you.
I'm just checking.
Oh God, I keep pressing this button. Can you hear
No,
me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you.
But I think it's having, as much as anything, it's having a thought, isn't it? It's having like a not necessarily a principle, but just saying, right, I'm thinking about my food, right? If you're consciously thinking about what you're eating, then you will tend to eat less.
Yeah, good choices.
And it doesn't mean you always have to be awesome, but just to, if you've got a principle of, I think there was a Japanese. I heard a Japanese say, it might have been off Karate Kid or something, so it's not a real saying. But I heard, it's there's an island in Japan which I think is the longest lifespan in the world, and the only thing unique about this island that I heard was that they have a saying was that you should eat until you're 3/4 full. You should never eat until you're full, and they have the longest lifespan in the world. So I was like, I tried to adopt that principle of never being, like, I think, there is I don't know, English, in my culture, it was like, yeah, I feel full, yeah, good. But it's not actually nice to feel that full, to feel full, but to feel 3/4 full. So that's why I tried to go for feeling 3/4 full.
I think, Roy, I'm not sure about where you live in terms of the culture, but the American culture is pretty similar to Australia, where you go to a restaurant and depending on the restaurant, like if it's a normal standard level restaurant, they try and feed you far more food than you can possibly eat.
Oh, yeah. The portion sizes are enormous. Yeah.
Yeah. That's an issue that, as you say, Rob, culturally, you're like, I can't just leave anything on the plate. I've got to eat everything on the plate.
Yeah, I grew up with a lot of that too. Finish your plate, so.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
Yeah, my Whitney's got a Guangzhou Chinese heritage, and her mum's here, and so it's taken a long time for her mum to accept the fact that I leave rice in the bowl. It's like the biggest no-no. I'm like, I'm full. I'm not eating anymore. Like that's it.
Rice is the worst as well
careful.
to overeat one. Like, especially if it's slightly undercooked. You're like, whoa!
She used to give me like a massive bowl of rice. And I was like, I can't eat that. Like, just even a meal, I can't just eat that, let alone everything else.
That's because she's looking at you saying, oh, you're a big guy. You need to eat a lot of rice.
Yeah, I'm getting bigger.
Yeah, that's a sign of wealth and prosperity in China.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, when I go to China, I've got to be so careful because as I'm the guest, I have to accept all the food, and that's where it's so difficult just to say no, I don't want any more, because they're offering food to show how much prosperity they do have. So that's a real cultural issue. Yeah.
Oh, what? Every time you go?
Everywhere I go, like especially because we went there for our wedding, that was the worst because obviously there's banquets. We had banquets for lunch and dinner, and it was so difficult because everyone's looking at you. When I went back there for Chinese New Year, it was so much better because I wasn't the main focus, so I could sort of sneak, like, not eat some food. But when you're the main reason everyone's there, her grandfather, who's tiny, absolutely tiny, he's probably maybe at the most 45 kilograms. And he'd be sitting there and looking to see if I was eating. And I was having like so many portions. It's like, why aren't you eating? And they're like, no, it's for you. So
we've got some great stories in the chat. So Miguel Steak and Chains, I watched a couple of his races recently, and he's looking awesome. And he went from 96 to 86 in the last few months. So I think he's on that journey. He's racing all the time.
A kilogram or two. That's what happened to me, Miguel, is I lost that weight quickly, and I thought I was sick. I was getting ready to go to the doctor because I lost weight, I think because of stress. We were moving house, and we weren't eating as much because we weren't cooking so much, and then spending a lot more time up. And so I was losing like a kilo a week, and I was like, if I got cancer, what the hell's going on here? I went from 82 kilograms down to 72 kilograms.
Wow.
Yeah.
I tell you, whenever you lose loads of weight, that's the only time people have ever mentioned anything about my weight to me. I went up to 104 kilograms, I think. No one mentioned a thing. I was like dangerous. That is pretty dangerously overweight. I was on the way to being clinically obese, and eventually no one said a thing. And then I went down to normal BMI. I was, you look gaunt. You look, you just feel comfortable just saying how terrible you look. I was like, I look awesome. And you never mentioned it when I was
about
obese.
75. Yeah, when I was 75, everyone was like, "Oh, you look so fit."
Right.
So I think I could probably get down to a 68 if I was if you wanted to be a professional cyclist and be super gaunt, and that would be, if I got below 68, I'd be not strong enough to ride. But I always thought around 74, 75 was where I was strong. It didn't look like a weird cyclist to everyday society. He was super skinny. But
yeah, I know. I know there is underweight, and that is it is a thing. But in general, in our society, overweight is more of a problem, and people feel very comfortable about commenting on thinness, whereas they don't feel the same on.
Yeah, it's because a lot of people know they're fat. Like, there's very few people who walk around and go, "Oh, I'm not fat," but they're fat. So yeah, so it's like, "Oh, you're tall, aren't you?" If I go, "Yeah, I know I'm tall. Shut up."
Well, actually, I don't know. Actually, I think there's this sort of very common in my country of being slightly obese. Just a bit obese. If we're talking BMI terms.
You're not number one. I think Australia's number one when it comes to it. So,
well done.
I think Australia's number one. I think we'd knock off the US only because there's a disproportionate amount of really skinny US people.
Right. I don't know about that. We're probably pretty neck and neck.
That surprised me.
Australians, we like to talk about how fit we are, but there's definitely another side of the population that compensate.
I didn't know that. But yeah, and anyway, so the slightly obese thing, and people say, "Oh no, just normal weight." I was like, actually, probably not. And I even went to the doctors once, and he weighed me, and I was like approaching the obese thing. He said, "Yeah, normal weight." I was like, "No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I know I'm not. Why are you saying that that's normal weight? It's just a weird thing to say." I was like, "Look, you've even got a chart that says it's not normal. You've got look, it says there. It's a dangerous. Like
So did he not even say, oh, you should try and
No.
knock off the drinking and smoking and stuff, or you just like you're good, off you go?
He advised me to. No, I wouldn't say that. No. No, he just didn't say. It was just like, no, that's fine. That's weird. Isn't that weird? Now they get paid to tell you that you're overweight, which is good, I think.
Really?
Yeah, but some of them.
It comes a fatty, you get more money.
So I used to work at the NHS, and there was quite a lot. One of the governments brought in like a pay by performance thing, and they said, right, GPs, how about start telling people that they're fat and that they should stop smoking? And they went, oh, okay, and we'll give you £5 or whatever it is if you tell people to stop smoking. And they were like, because if a GP tells someone to stop smoking, they will tend to, it tends to be a bit more, it has some effect. Anyway,
yeah.
And I was overseeing some of these payments to these doctors, and some of them said that they maybe had 8,000 patients, and they'd seen each one of them in the quarter, and they claimed the £5. So they claimed like 40,000.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
You can't have seen 8,000 people in a quarter and told them to stop smoking. That's like not possible.
That's a lot of smokers.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. Can we
Do
see
you
any
smoke? No,
evidence of
but
that?
well, that's good. Don't
No,
start.
patient confidentiality. I'm not revealing my patient's. They just ripping all this money off the government. You didn't do that. Like, well, prove that I didn't.
So was there a dip in smoking? Was there a correlation or not?
Well, it's all hard to tell because we didn't know that.
It sounds like a great.
There has been a massive dip in smoking. I'm not sure if they all died or they just stopped. I was one of the ones who
Can't afford it. Has UK got a massive tax like in Australia?
Yeah.
So it costs like $1,000 a packet.
Yeah, something like that. I think now. Yeah.
It's that way in the US too.
Yeah. It's
Especially
the
in
easiest way to stop
California.
things is make it cost too much money. But now there's kind of an illegal cigarette syndicate going on in Melbourne. They keep having gunfights and things.
Oh,
Wow.
Sam Baker says it's not just China, it's Italy as well. He went from 63 kilograms to 74.
Yes, yeah.
by going to Italy. Oh, lots of it's worth it in Italy though. Actually, they're both good food countries. I'll give a few kilos to live in those countries for a while.
The good thing about Italy though is at least you can find clothes that fit. I literally went to buy a jumper at Chinese New Year and I got the largest size I could, and it was tight fitting. It was just got around my stomach. It was the largest I could get.
I went to a wedding in Italy. I'm trying not to exaggerate, but there was certainly more than 10 courses. I think it was 13, possibly 17. They were just bringing out these little courses every time. We were there all day, and they were just like, yeah, there you go, there's something else. There's like 17 courses, and they were all delicious.
But then you look at the Italians, and the Italians aren't, well, they're not, they're a lot skinnier than our cultures, that's for sure.
Probably, yeah.
Same with Spain.
The famous Mediterranean diet, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's, as you say, though, that the important thing is don't eat until you're absolutely gorged. Like, don't walk away from the table feeling sick and you got to lie on the couch. That's probably one of the biggest things. And my way of trying to make sure I lost weight was stop eating 3 or 4 hours before you go to bed.
Right. Yeah. Have principles in what you're doing. I think the main thing is have thought, and you don't often. Yeah, you just don't need it, do you? Like I used to fuel. Like when I started putting on weight again, I used to. All right, well, I need to fuel for this race, and then I need to fuel after this race, and then I could do with a biscuit. No, have a plan. I don't really need to fuel for a 20-minute race.
No, 20-minute race you don't. If it's an hour, 2 hours is different, but if it's a 20-minute race. But Roy, one of the biggest things I found was that when I'm trying to lose weight, sometimes what I do is I'm just gonna have a cheat day, but then I have a cheat day the next day. Is there anything that you would like? How do you get yourself back on track if you're like, I've fallen off the wagon? This is like, what's the point?
I used to do that. That used to happen a lot, but I changed the kind of foods that we had in the house. Mostly, that helped a lot. So if it wasn't there, I couldn't eat it. So got rid of a lot of the just grab something and eat it kind of stuff. So I'd have to make a sandwich rather than grab some chips or something like that, you know. So.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And then you've got to. I always laugh because my mum will come over and she'll say, "Oh, you're looking fat. Here's some chocolate that I bought."
That'll make you feel better.
Yeah, you need to lose weight. Oh, by the way, I bought some chocolate.
Right.
So
Yeah, I mean,
that's one of the techniques is not to have easy fat food in the house.
Yeah, or easy booze, like, you know, because once
Yeah.
I get started on the booze, I can just go mad. So just not having it in the house, I'm not gonna like, you know, go driving, try and find some booze later in the night. But if it's there,
One of
I'll have a
one of
go.
the good things and the bad thing is I used to have a 7-Eleven across the road from my street, from where I live. So, it's gone, which I hate now. But at the same time, it's like I don't do that. Oh, I feel like I need some chocolate. I'll just walk across the street. I'm doing exercise because I'm walking. But yeah, that's a good and a bad thing for me at the moment.
Yeah, the other thing, the only other thing I wanted to mention is that, like, as I said, I don't like supplements, and I don't like shakes and stuff like that. And it's not, you know, it seems to work for other people, but you know, when they say calories in, calories out, which I do still largely believe in, you know, pretty much believe in, but you know, it takes energy to eat real food, where it doesn't take much energy to eat a protein shake. So when it says it, you know, whatever it might be, is like 1,000 calories, or you know, I have no idea, you know, 500 calories. You know, food, you know, to mush up food, your intestines have to work it, don't they? Whereas like a shake, it doesn't. But I don't know. That's the only thing I had to. I only try to eat food that my grandparents would recognize as food, which again is a bit weird because our, you know, ancestors 10,000 years ago wouldn't have recognized cheese or milk as a food. So, but you know, I just like to eat food rather than stuff that isn't food. But it's not a, you know, I don't judge people. It's just what I feel comfortable with.
I have started doing a protein shake in the morning rather than eating breakfast, but yeah, I put a couple of strawberries in it, but it has like I also put in a scoop of super greens, and it's got some prebiotics to help my digestion and the protein powder. So it's all plant-based stuff.
God, that sounds
So it actually tastes really good. So it tastes like a chocolate shake, but I try not to put too much food in it, especially fruit, because the fruit, like you said, if you blend it, it goes straight into your
It's just
bloodstream.
sugar. It just becomes sugar.
Yeah, right. So I try not to do that. Because I did that for a little bit thinking I was healthy, and I started to gain a little bit of weight. I said, what's going on? And I figured it out pretty quick. So
Yeah, for me personally, if you get as many vegetables, so even just eating a carrot, eating celery, even with celery and peanut butter, I know that peanut butter is not the best for you, but it's better to have a celery stick with peanut butter or a carrot stick with peanut butter than some of the other options that I can possibly go for. And it's not about eating the healthiest. It's about replacing what you might eat, which is a bad thing, with a slightly less bad thing. And then long term, if you're eating slightly better, you're going to lose slightly more weight. You don't need to lose heaps of weight. Sometimes it's a matter of not even gaining weight. So you might be 86 kilograms, but you don't want to get to 100.
Right. Yeah.
So you don't need to lose weight. You just need to ensure that you're not creeping up.
right.
Oh, I'd love to be 75 again. I'd love to be 75. I got there. I had such a long-term weight target to be 75, and I've gone up to 18 and a half now. And I'm not, you know, is it really pathetic to just think that I'd be a better racer? And that's the main reason that I want to be 75. Is that pathetic?
No.
But it's
anything that helps, in my opinion.
yeah, I don't, because I feel all right with my body. Yeah. My
Yeah,
wife-
it
my wife
depends
puts
how
up with
much it creeps into like your mental health. If losing weight makes you feel better, it takes a bit more energy. That's fine. But if you're constantly thinking, I should be skinnier, I should be skinnier, I should be skinnier, then that's sort of it's a different.
Oh, I'll tell
it's
you
a
what might
different,
help. Zwift Racing Score. If it puts me up into A, and I can't at all win a race, unless I'm
Then you might-
lighter, then that might be the incentive that I need.
That's right.
Yeah, I blame Zwift for my weight gain because I could still
Oh.
win in B.
Yeah,
I could
but this
still
is
win in
where
B.
when I got to the A+ cat, I actually lost a bit of sprint because I was a little bit lighter, but also I'm doing a lot more endurance.
Yeah.
And so one of the things I always want to do, but I'm terrible at, which is probably another, maybe I can actually start doing this. And Roy, you mentioned it before, is not just riding. You do yoga and doing core workouts, just doing something else off the bike to you'll gain bone mass, because cycling is terrible for bone mass.
Right.
When I get older, I'm a bit worried about my bone mass. So I need to start doing some weights, and weights is going to help with the sprint. So I might not, having another 100, 200 watts in the sprint is going to make a bigger difference than being, say, 1 or 2 kilograms lighter, I think.
Yeah, far more. Yeah.
And that's one of the things that's easy picking for me, because I don't do it. I literally do not do any weights.
People ask me if I'm fit, and I say, well, I'm pretty good at making my feet go around in small circles for about 25 minutes. And I'm probably in like top 5% of people in the world, maybe, if making my feet go around in circles. But other than that, it's a very limited range of fitness. It's not a broad, subtlety, no. Muscle mass, no. Bone density, no. Nothing else other than feet
How
going
many
around.
push-ups? How many push-ups can you do? I can't even do any chin-ups at the moment. No way can I do a chin-up, I reckon.
Me either.
So yeah, I've had this weight, general calisthenics plan for the last couple of years that I've never done, but I know what it is. But I've started taking my youngest son's going to the gym now, and so if he keeps it up, I might. Well, I've been doing it, so maybe that'll be what I need. Sun time at the gym. That might be good. But we must.
That's my always talk about, never do. Is like, I'm going to start doing weights.
Yeah. It always seems more fun to do a race, doesn't it? That's the problem.
What's easier because we used to I get on the bike, whereas doing weights is something new. I've got to set them up, and it hurts like hell for the first few weeks. It's a bit like racing when you first start riding a bike. It hurts, and so I always put it off. I was like, oh no, I've got a ZRL race to do next week. I don't want to compromise.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got to do this next week. I've got to compromise. I'll start it in the off season. Of course, with Zwift, there is no off season.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. Has anyone got anything to add before we do a quiz? Oh, Darren can do 40 push-ups with one arm. Darren can do 40 push-ups with one arm.
Yeah, that's 40 more than I can do.
But you've got 2 arms. It'd be harder to do. I don't know. But if you've only got,
I don't know. I think you got.
Well.
It's pretty hard to balance on one arm. Even if someone held my other arm up, I don't think I could do any more. But Thomas was in the chat before and reminded me, so we'll probably talk about it another time when we know more. But there's a lot of issues at the moment with trainers, and it's not just Wahoo trainers. I'm hearing that Elite's calibration as well is having issues, and so
What, did we not cover that?
Didn't know, Rob. We've been talking about everything
let's
else.
go on for another half an hour then. Cool, great.
Well, we could just do a quick 2 minute.
No, we're not doing. We're going to go into it in depth. I had slides and everything. Right. Oh yeah, there you go. Right, Ben. Talk at the internet.
Well, okay, so I'm not going to read all that because I can't actually see what it says.
Okay, so Zwift World Series was cancelled. It was meant to be
today or tomorrow or something. And they cancelled it, saying they've had loads of variations between duels. So far more than they ever could have imagined. And so they've cancelled it and they've put it back to a later date. And they don't know what's going on really. And they're sorry. And stop shouting at them, please. This was part 2 of the Omnishambles of racing this week in my plan.
Yeah. So what I find interesting is they seem to talk about it only as high power. And so they think it only affects people with massive power. And there's a couple other different criteria. But I've seen on so many other Discord chats, like Kaboom, my racing team, Burrito Titans, it's happening to core, like kicker cores and kicker bikes. And it doesn't necessarily need to be high power. And it's a massive difference. One of my teammates was doing 4.7 watts per kilo. And then once he fixed it up, he's back to 4 watts a kilo, which is, if anyone can gain 0.7 watts per kilo,
whoa,
that's a pretty bloody brilliant training program.
4.7 to 4.
Yeah, 4.7 to 4.
Oh,
That's a lot.
And it's affected his Zwift Racing Score as well. Is what is it, with floors really high.
So it's going to be the top category forever.
Yeah, until I think it's like, what is it, 3 months or something, 90 days.
Oh, but they're
And the
talking
thing
about
is, Zwift-
extending that.
Yeah, but Zwift haven't communicated this. They've communicated to the elite riders, but there's just nothing spoken about to everyday riders. So there'll be a lot of people in ZRL and things. If this is ever fixed, or if people suddenly find that they can't put out the power that they thought they could put out. So it doesn't affect just, imagine if you're a C-Cat rider, but you're actually supposed to be a D, or you're a B-Cat rider supposed to be a C. And
Yeah, I mean,
all of a sudden, then one day you lose 60 watts.
I've done some testing on it with my setup, and I'm thinking it has a little bit to do with the auto spin down on the smart trainers, because I've got power pedals, I've got a power meter crank arm, and the trainer all in the same setup. So, and I got to say, my pedals will sometimes stray as well. So I have to recalibrate those every time I ride. So
Is that the Asiomas, or are they the
Garmin Vector 3s, dual-sided ones?
Because I feel like the Asiomas, they have the same auto calibration, but I never trusted that either. I used to always, when I was sort of top level racing, do a proper zero calibration or zero offset for those. But you, as you say, it seems to be related to the auto spin down. Has this been an issue before they found it with the virtual gearing? Because I do remember looking at Kicker 5 duels from teammates, and they didn't vary amazingly as high as at the moment, but they were varying from week to week, and we couldn't work out why. It just seems to be exacerbated now with the new firmware.
Yeah. Well, I have the Kicker 5 is what I use. So
Yep.
Just the other day I was looking at that. I was comparing my power meters, my pedals I had going on my head unit, and I was using the Kicker in Zwift, and there was a difference. So the Kicker was reading low. So I did a couple of I joined a pace partner on a hill, and I coasted down a couple of hills, and all of a sudden the power went up higher than my pedals. So that tells me that there's something going on there. And then I did another hill.
When you is that when it, because it auto calibrates during races, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, when you
during
spin,
rides.
you basically do a spin down during a race. So if you never actually coast, it can't do a spin down, which I've always wondered about for some people who just constantly pedal. They never get a spin down.
That's me.
Yeah. So this is, to me, it's a big issue in the background. For one thing, is I've always said that you should use trainers instead of power meters, and now I look like an idiot. But Zwift is not communicating this with the general community. They're telling the elite riders, because obviously there's massive ramifications because they get money for the events.
Oh yeah.
So Josh Harris posted up that they've cancelled the world tour. They're going to have a catch up. So, because I suppose people who don't know in the chat, they've got the Zwift Games coming up, and the World Series was supposed to be a qualification for that, and there was a top 50. And then they've cancelled those rights. So some people who were doing other things like My Wish and the World Champs haven't had a chance to qualify. So they're going to have a one-off race to allow qualifications. I haven't actually stipulated how many people will qualify. And those that are currently top 50 at the moment will get into Zwift Games. So that's kind of alleviated a bit of stress in the community. But of course, having a one-off race compared to a couple of rounds will make it a bit harder. But there's no fix. They don't know. I don't know when the time frame is.
Yeah.
So that's to me, that seems very, it's something that maybe Zwift should be addressing. Maybe turn off auto calibration virtual gears for racing, or let people know. I don't know. It's just, to me, it just seems like a.
Do you think it's confined to this virtual shifting, something happened new, or is it just impossible? I know people who've
I don't know because
try to get the most accurate measurements they can, and they just can't get things to match. And it's always
what's thrown a spanner in the works is the fact that I've heard that in My Wish, the World Championships, they turned off auto calibration for the elites, which okay, it's not a Zwift thing, it's not a Wahoo thing. It's something else. And is it always been there, but they just haven't looked at it? Because in the article that Zominique puts out, Bjorn, who does sort of Zwift outsourced to him to try and do verification, has talked about that trainers aren't actually as accurate as the manufacturers are claiming, the plus or minus 1%, which is another issue I always talked about, how people who review trainers for a living don't make it clear that the plus or minus 1% is not related to every other trainer. You can't buy a Kicker and a Neo and they both be within 1% of each other because they're rated to 1%. It's literally 1% to the trainer that you buy between each pedal stroke. And they don't mention whether it's 100 watts or 200 watts. So that is also something that the community don't realize, that if you buy a trainer that's plus or minus 1%, it can be wildly out, but accurate to what the trainer says, because it's consistently reading within 1% of each pedal stroke.
What does that mean?
So
1% within each pedal stroke?
So if you're doing 400 watts in your pedal and then your next pedal stroke's 400 watts, it's going to be plus or minus 1%. That's literally what that plus or minus 1% means. It doesn't mean that if you pedal at 400 watts and then you use it pedal on a trainer at 400 watts, it's going to be within plus or minus 1% of the other trainer. That's what people think it is, but it's not true. It's literally
you, right?
every single.
I was just stupid.
What was that?
That's actually some new information for me. I watched like a GP Llama, and he always compares across different. But he, I don't know how to think about what he does, because his stuff always seems to line up pretty darn close, and that hasn't been my experience. So,
well, so this is GP Llama. When he was a long time ago, like before the pandemic, he used to talk about this plus or minus 1% and mention what it really is. But I think because he's done it so much, he stopped mentioning exactly what it is. And he actually used to have videos about how there's no industry standard. So if Wahoo measure plus or minus 1%, where are they measuring? Are they measuring 100 watts? What cadence are they measuring it at? Where is it compared to other manufacturers? So
yeah, it must be.
There is no industry standard. Basically,
1% at 100 watts than it is to get at 600. Just the strain,
and
mechanical strain, and things stretching and bending.
But also, who's actually verifying this? It's very funny that when Zada said, "Okay, our new classification is it used to be 1.5%, and it was 1%. And also, all the manufacturers released trainers that had plus or minus 1%. But who's verifying that? It's very easy for a manufacturer to say, yeah, this new trainer is plus or minus 0.5%. Believe us. Our previous trainer that you have was 1%. So
Yeah, imagine some,
you got to buy this
some
new trainer.
government official going in there trying to investigate it. Like, how the hell did he know? Something like that, false advertising. Like,
Excuse
I
me.
don't know.
I'm going to be right back. Just a second.
Okay. I don't want to. The chat's talking about GP Lama. I don't want to throw shade at GP Lama because he does what he can, but he's only one unit of measurement. He can't get thousands of trainers and test it. So what he does is sometimes you'll find trainers are bad and then go back to the manufacturer. But if you go to Zwift Power, you can access hundreds of dual records, especially for people who are actually at the elite level. So like Josh Harris, he'll do a race. A lot of the times I'll go into the races he does and look at people's dual records. And you can see it's wildly varying. The same hardware, people are using Kicker 6s, they're using Asioma duos, and you look at each dual, and they're not all lining up perfectly. Yeah, it's like the gold standard for what people test. Like GP Lama is always using Asioma duo, same as DC Rainmaker, but they're all different. And the thing about racing too is that adds extra strain. So if you're doing an erg workout, then you do some free riding. That's very different to if you're sprinting like hell and then easing up, sprinting like hell, easing up. So GP Lama does what he can. He does do some good deep dives, find some issues, especially, the errors with the Shimano gear. But
and I suppose it's catering to what most people do, which is just pootling around as well. He doesn't do heavy races, does he? Does he do races?
He doesn't race anymore. He does a lot better than I could do, that's for sure. But what I find is that
if you're gonna test things, you want to test it for what most people do, I suppose, rather than like we mentioned it before, but when GCN reviewed some trainer, they said that it was.
It's good for racing.
Yeah, it's good for racing because I'm a former pro and I don't go above 600 watts. Like, I was a decaf. I was a decaf and I go over 600. What was a decaf?
You don't need anything over 600 watts. It's just a waste of effort. So this is where I sort of stopped saying it a bit, but I want an industry standard about, okay, when you buy this, it's plus or minus 1% at 250 watts at this cadence.
Oh! I've got an idea. I could be the man who verifies it. We could have a Zwift. I couldn't call it Zwifty.
Yeah, but no one's going to send you any gear though. That's a problem.
I want them to. I want them to.
No, yeah, but if you say this is crap, who's going to buy it?
Well, they won't get the stamp if they don't send me the gear.
Zwifty approved.
My friend used to work in a shoe testing place, and he used to work in and it's quite fun. So they've got this shoe testing thing. They've got loads of machines in there for testing shoes. So they'll like flip it. They've got their flipping machine. It flips the sole. So they just take the sole off or something and like flip the sole like 20,000 times for 3 days or something. And if the sole falls back, they're no. And then they whack it on the, they've got a whacking machine. They've got all these sorts of machines for testing shoes. Brilliant. But they never failed, like all the major manufacturers of shoes. Even if the shoes just completely disintegrated, they never failed them. They're like, why don't you fail them shoes? They're like, oh, well, they'd just send them to the other testing place if we started failing them. That's rubbish, isn't it? What's the point of all this stupid great machinery if you just pass them all? They're like, well, what else are we going to do? We're going to start failing them. They'll just send them to the other place. So that's, it's that kind of thing, isn't it? Where, like, do you want to sign up for a standard? You got to fail. Not really.
Yeah. And if you're the biggest name in the space, I did find a long time ago they did do like a lab test where they put the bikes on an actual treadmill and tested that to see but they weren't using trainers, they were using power meters. And that was quite interesting because...
Bikes on a treadmill? What?
Yeah, so they basically put the bikes on a treadmill and then had... I've forgotten what sort of device they had, but it was like a proper lab environment. But the big issue is trying to devise a standard. Someone said actually in Josh Harris's chat is they need to hook up hydraulic systems because you can measure hydraulics much easier. Oh. So you have a hydraulic pump. But the thing is, I know
Oh, I trust
a rider who.
hydraulics. That sounds right, doesn't it? It sounds like solid.
Well, yeah,
18th,
because there's no
19th
you can't compress hydraulics, so
Yeah,
you can
exactly,
measure it very accurately.
Yeah.
Problem is, it's absolutely rubbish to ride because I know one of my teammates who got to the America's Cup was riding on the boat and they used hydraulics, and they said it's so hard to ride with hydraulics. It's not like a normal trainer. You
Sure,
got no
that's
momentum.
cheating to use hydraulics. You're meant to be pedaling, aren't you?
Well, no, because you don't have like.
You can't build momentum, right?
Yeah, there's no like you know how you got like dead spots in the pedaling action.
Yeah.
Those dead spots, that there's no momentum going through it. So you've got to apply power through so much more of the pedal rotation. So it's one of the things I didn't really explain very well for the America's Cup was the grinders were putting out 400, 500 watts for 20 minutes, but they're doing that as well as doing a lot more pedaling through the pedaling stroke. And of course, I didn't have any fans, so they were like locked in the little tiny hot cabin.
Oh, what?
They get sprayed
to keep
water
air on?
occasionally. Yeah, because they don't want any air coming in, so everything was like they're locked in. Plus, also, I think they had strapping or something. So the amount of power they're putting out is ridiculous. But they were pedaling through hydraulics, and so that was the biggest thing that James was saying that was the hardest thing is to learn how to pedal. But so we don't want to have hydraulic trainers, but it would make it far more accurate to be able to measure. But one of the things I'd really like to do is the pandemic ruined it. But the very first time I rode on Zwift was actually at a pub where Zwift came and had a Zwift event, and you got to go and race up the hilly column. I didn't even know it was a hilly column at the time. I actually stopped riding halfway up it because I was like, I got no fan, I got jeans on, I got a shirt on. This is stupid. But if they could have Zwift could tour around the world, which they used to do. I think they still do it in some countries. And you turn up and you do a 20-minute power test and you get verified. Like they've got those stupid ticks at the moment for Zwift for verification that just hand out like cookies. But you could actually go to a Zwift center and get verified on a trainer of theirs, even if that trainer's inaccurate. At least you're showing, okay, I've done a weight and I've done a 20-minute power, and that lasts for say a year. Because I know it's not perfect, but I'd have a lot more faith in something like that. Because there is
Swift's London office is like a stone's throw from my office.
Yeah, you could be the first one, Rob.
With an actual stone. I've actually tried. Like, answer my emails, Zwift.
just knock on the door. Yeah, I've got an appointment.
Yeah. Verify me.
Where, is James Bailey?
Please answer me.
James Bailey here today, or is he out?
I think he's working from home. Because he lives up north, so he can't be going to London every day.
But yeah, I'd love to have that. Even just so that you can come in and have like a race in person at some stage. And Zwift they spend so much money. Surely they can, you pay $20-$30 to do it.
Yeah, I would pay that. Yeah. Oh, give me like a proper, like not the orange tick. You get a green tick or something like that. Yeah,
something. Yeah, don't do the orange tick because that just give that out to anyone. Get some other tick. And it's good for 1 year. I know that people over 1 year can change enormously, but at least it's showing that
but Australians would start to complain when you know what they're like. They're like, oh, we haven't got an office in our place. Why can't we do it?
Well, I don't know, because they did do... As I said, the very first time I rode was here in Melbourne.
Okay.
It was actually the Map store, even though it's a pub, because Maps, or was it Map or maybe it was the other one? Oh.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was one of the wanky Zwift. Cycling clothing stores that has pubs at it.
You have cycling places that have pubs.
Yeah, like they got a bar. You go in there and you have a drink. Not that I do it.
Maybe Rob.
In the UK at all.
Surely you've got it, Roy, when when you go and buy your bike, they would have sat you down at a bar and given a few drinks to you.
Yeah, really, you drop that kind of money.
Should have taken you out to dinner.
Oh, if you go to one in the UK, they just insult you for not knowing about bikes. Like, oh, I don't know what the spiky bits are. Like, wait,
You really don't know about bikes, Rob. You need to be insulted. You're like, what's that thing on the front that has air in it? That round black thing?
Bike shops
knows
around
that?
me,
That's
they love people like that. They're just like, oh yeah, we'll take care of you. It's like,
Yeah, what? Yeah, here you go. Here's DI2.
yeah.
Dura-Race. You need Dura-Race, Rob.
You've suddenly gone very high def, Roy. You went from very low definition video quality to very high HD.
I think it's your settings, Rob. Sometimes because I think it's your settings.
Don't blame me. Right. Nearly 2 hours. Who wants to do a quiz?
Yeah, I've had enough to talk about that.
How many races have you done, Roy?
Oh,
According to Zwift
I
I've
don't
got
even
to
know.
look that up because it's going to be in the quiz, isn't it?
It might be relevant. It might be relevant, if not directly relevant. Right. Okay, let's get
I don't
the
even
quiz
know.
up.
800?
Is it
No,
exactly
that'd
800?
No.
Okay.
Come on, continue up. Hurry up before the quiz starts.
Regular viewers should already be signed up to the Kahoot app, and all you Johnny Come Latelys can go to www.kahoot.it. That's www.kahoot.it, and the game pin is 1931831. That's 1931831. Now going on for 2 hours is not good for numbers, but Roy has kindly agreed to do the punishment ride. Should he not win?
Oh, thank God for that.
So, should he not win, I want a volunteer from the. Should he win, I want a volunteer from the viewership as to who would step in if Roy actually wins. Because I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing it either.
Ben's not doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't look at the comments anymore because I'm on the quiz. I'm doing display
Can't you
capture.
can open up more than one?
I'm on display capture, you see, for the quiz because it doesn't work interactively if you do the. So I can't look at the
Chat's been a bit rude to you, Rob, so I wouldn't read it.
Hey! I don't want a tick. Oh, yeah, I want a green tick. Yeah, Darren.
Simon, that's who it was. It was Rafa, the Rafa clothing store. That's who I rode with Zwift.
They have a
It was actually the first time, the first and only time I've
license
seen GP Lama in real life.
Oh, we've got quite a lot for the quiz. Darren Van Dent, John Merrick, Puffy. Who has it? Why does he have it? How do you get a strike through with your name? That's quite good, isn't it?
It says you've disconnected. We're trying to reconnect you now.
Me, Super Sandbagger. Wow. Baz Prey. That's Seb. Easy. Oh, it's if I hover over them to get a hover. Simon B. Hi, Simon. Easy. Spin Down Ben. Dave B. Oh, blimey. Snowy. Hey, how you doing, Snowy? I saw Mrs. Snowy on the telly last week. Very good. Sam Bagger, Sean, and Chris. Hi, Chris. Right. Roy, you need to join.
I'm trying to. It's not letting me. Hang on a second.
Do you not have the app?
I don't have the app,
You should have the
but
app.
it's so easy for me to just do Kahoot, enter.
Yeah, I never got the app, actually, when I was playing. I don't know why I said that. You should get the app.
Why am I trying to sell the app?
What's the game pin again? I'm gonna try
193
193 1831. 193 1831. Okay.
Oh, I meant to rate my ride with Peter. I'm sorry, Peter.
Okay.
I can't download videos anymore.
Okay, I'm
What do you
in.
mean you can't download videos?
I just don't seem to be. Oh, that's let Ben Brown in. Your procrastination, Roy. Let's let Ben in. That's good, dog. Hi, Ben. Hi, Roy. Okay, shall we start the quiz? The theme for this quiz is Zwifty Mass. So, I'm a very Christmassy person, and we're thinking about gifts that we could get our Zwifty friends. So, from the Zwift shop, which of these is the most expensive? Is it the Expression cycling cap and musette bag? Is it the Zwift Run Pod? Or is it 3 Zwift-themed towels? Which is the most expensive gift of these 3 that you could buy? Oh, yeah. I did try and help you by putting that the Zwift Pod was on sale. The Zwift Pod is normally £36, but it's on sale now. £18 for the Zwift Pod.
Is it still on sale at this very moment?
Yeah, the sale ended.
What? When did it end?
Like a couple of days ago, I think.
Well, I did the quiz on Wednesday.
That's all right.
Stop the count. Stop the count.
Oh, that's not fair. Yeah, the towels probably doubled in price as well, so it's probably still the towels. Oh, man. I think that's the first question I've got wrong. I've genuinely got wrong. I'm sorry.
Doesn't matter, because if you saw the sale, you should have been smart enough to know that I still got it wrong, but I'll accept the fact that
it was the
if I saw
sale price.
Yes.
Thanks, Ben. Sandbagger got it right-ish, I suppose. John Merrick, Ben Brown, and Seb. Okay. Right, question 2. Which is the cheapest based on the sale prices if they were on sale? Is it the socks, the T-shirt, or the bottles?
I can't buy the bottles. It's out of stock.
It is out of stock, but which is the cheapest, nevertheless? Oh, look!
I went for the. I got that wrong again.
Oh, well, it's a good job you're not up for the.
Got it wrong again too.
Oh, damn it!
I'm tied with Sean in 10th place.
Oh no. Yeah, it was the socks. Socks are the cheapest. I can't remember how much they are. I'm sorry. I had to. Oh, Ben!
Wow.
Ooh. He's been shopping for loads of stuff because all his stuff was stolen. So.
This is like the Price is Right so far.
Yeah. What is the top Zwift Racing Score for the 4th category? Is it 230, 280, 350, or 390? So what's the highest score you could have to be in the 4th category?
I think I got that wrong.
I wouldn't know.
I was thinking about my category, not the 4th category. Oh, no, I got it right.
I got it right too.
Yeah. I still went down. I went from 10th to 13th.
I think it was
everyone going quick.
Speed, yeah.
I think so. I was too slow.
I want to try and adjust things. It doesn't matter that you can't see the bottom, does it? No one's going to join now, are they? Okay, right. Scoreboard. Oh, Snowy Pruitt. Oh, it's all got really close now. Snowy, Ben. Oh, Darren, Sandbagger, and Seb. Oh, it's quite a crowd there now. Which team is Roy a member of? Oh, I forgot to ask you that, Roy. So you've got a major advantage here.
Yeah.
Is it OCR, SWAT, Draft, or Dirt?
Is it the team in the companion app, or is it a different team?
Same team.
Oh, thank God I got that right. Then.
Oh, thank God I got it right as well. Yeah, OCR. Do you know anything about the history of that team?
Not a lot. It's been about a year since our team merged.
Oh,
I started off on the Badger Pack.
Badger Pack?
Yeah.
All right.
I never heard of Badger Pack.
It's a small team.
Okay.
But,
and then it merged with OTR, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, close to the top now. Oh, Darren's moving.
Were you
up.
part of Badger Pack, or were you OTR?
I was part of Badger Pack. So.
Okay. What is the route for next week's ZRacing? So people who've been listening carefully, is it hilly route reverse, it's a party, 2 bridges loop, or loop-de-loop?
I was listening, but you didn't tell me what the route was. You just showed me the
I don't think I
profile.
actually mentioned it, did I? I did think towards the end. Actually, I've mentioned what this is called.
It did look like Hilly Route reverse, didn't it?
Yeah, I was like, I don't remember what it was.
I was looking at the segment.
What it was called. I don't think I did, did I? I even cut it off the picture. I was like, oh, the picture doesn't include the name. Yeah, it's loop de loop, or poop de scoop, as I like to call it. Snow has kept his lead. Sandbag
That's
is
shaking the pack up.
Oh, Darren Van Dit's still there though. Oh, quite a good chasing pack behind. Right, London Loop finishes on the Mall. True or false? I did this from memory, so I hope I got it right.
That's always the best way.
I didn't even bother.
I think this is right.
No, it doesn't. It ends at the PRL.
What do you mean ends at the PRL?
PRL, that banner.
Where's the PRL? Are you talking about the start finish banner at the other end?
Yeah, near the
near the pens.
Near the
Yeah,
pens.
okay. Is that what you call the finish banner for that one? The PRL, that finish banner?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd have no idea what you were talking
Snowy
about.
got it
if you said
wrong.
that.
Darren Van Dit takes the lead. Darren Van Dit, look at that. He's got a cracking lead as well. Come on, Darren. Come on. Which power interval is now being used as the seed for Zwift Racing Score? As of today,
tomorrow.
as of yesterday, and now, is it 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, or 2 minutes? I wrote this before they did the update. As of now, yes, it is 10 minutes. Oh, I feel sorry for the people who went 5 minutes though, because it will be tomorrow. I didn't know that when I wrote this question. I forgot to go back.
I got that right, so I don't feel sorry for him.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope Darren got it right. I hope Darren. Please, Darren, please. Yes! Oh, but he hesitated. He must have hesitated to wait for my clarification.
Peter got it wrong. He wants a protest. It's as of now, though, Peter. Doesn't it say tomorrow?
Yeah, it doesn't say tomorrow. That's not. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I can't. If it's in the present tense. Right. Question 8. Oh, multi-select. Oh no, there should only be one. What route did AI interpret this pick in a cubist style? Is it Downtown Dolphin, Seafed Sprint, Mekal Loop, or Ocean Cliffside Lava Dupe? Oh, Ocean Cliffside Lava. Oh no, let's call it Ocean Cliffside Lava Dupe. That's what I always call it.
I might get it wrong, but this is one of the first times when we've had those AI pictures where I was like, actually, I can see what it's talking about. Oh, it is multi-question, Rob.
Yeah, Mekal Loop is not correct. I did think it looked like what might have been used like a sort of fascist advertisement, or some kind of for some sort of ethnically pure race or something like that.
Rob, you said it wasn't a multi-question. It was.
Did you have to answer them both right?
Yeah.
Oh, bollocks. Oh, sorry. Sorry, everyone. I didn't mean to select a multi-question. Sorry. I've had a busy week. I had to go to London at 2:30 yesterday. Leave me alone. I'm genuinely sorry. I've messed up the quiz. I know it's an important
I think if everyone... It doesn't matter, because if everyone just did one question right, that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Only one person could possibly done them both, can't they?
Yeah.
Hopefully
So it doesn't matter. Unless it was Darren.
Yeah, I hope it was Darren. I hope Darren did them both. But do you not think it could be a bit fascist? It looks a bit like
The picture.
New World. Anyway, okay. Right, nothing changed. Good. Nothing significantly changed other than Dave B. Well done, Dave B. I hope you answered both. But don't beat Darren. Okay, 9 out of 10. Which language does the ZRL Stage 6 route Dringa Fakan come from? Is it Gaelic, Danish, Finnish, or Welsh?
Glad you pronounced that.
I've got to do a recon on it. It is Welsh.
I think you got the same as me, Roy.
It means... oh, no, I won't tell you because that'll be the quiz question next week. There you go.
quiz question next week. I've already given you the clue. I didn't give any clues this week. I was too busy. Right. Oh, no, Darren! Oh, no! It's fallen at the penultimate hurdle. Oh, John Merrick. Oh, well done, John. You've got a decent lead going into the final question. But the final question is double points. And it's true or false. So do you want to go fast? Try and ensure that it's not a huge margin, is it? Or do you want to be sure? Or is it just a guess? It might be a 50-50 guess. So
Usually a guess for me.
it's all to play for the final question. And the final question is, who has completed the most Zwift races according to Zwift Power? Is it Zwifty, struck me, or is it Roy? Oh, the picture's the opposite way around. That's a bit confusing, isn't it?
Surely got to go. Oh,
It's Roy. According to Zwift Power, I think Roy's got about 1,069. I've got about 1,043. It's very, very close. But
Wow.
you just edged me out. How long have you been on, Roy?
Since the pandemic, so 2020. So
Yeah, same man.
you've been smashing those races.
Yeah.
race every day.
Do you never enter the group rides?
Almost never.
Yeah.
And Roy's done a lot more long rides than me, long races than me. You're level 100, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Have
level
you
80.
have you got all the route badges?
No, I stopped hunting route badges, but I got most of them. I don't have the new ones, and I don't have the full PRL. So
Right.
You got the half PRL and the Uber Pretzel.
I've got. I don't have the Uber pretzel either. I haven't done the super long ones, but I've done like multiple FRR tours, like the entire thing, without missing one, and I've done chasing 2 years in a row. So that's a lot of racing.
Yeah.
It is.
So
Long racing as well. Very impressive. Anyway, we're building up the tension. Who will it be who's won the prestigious episode 6 Zwifty Chat quiz? The podium is, in third place, Super Sandbagger. Second place, we have Seb. But in first place, with a comfortable lead, it is Snowy Pruitt. Oh, wow.
I don't know how my active noise reduction works, but I'll clap.
Oh, I should get some voice quotes from that. Congratulations, Snowy. Nice one, man. I didn't even see you in the chasing pack there. Awesome stuff.
So
Okay.
Jessica says she's Snowy, not the real Snowy.
She's Snowy.
Yeah, Jessica Hamilton.
Oh, right. Okay. Okay. Sorry, Jessica. I assumed it was Snowy, as in the only person I know called Snowy. But yeah. You matched the theme. That all makes sense. Congratulations, Jessica. Whee! Our first female winner of the quiz. So congratulations for that. Right. Well, it's been awesome having you both as ever.
What does Jessica win? Does she win ZRS points?
Did
You
she
go
want
up to the next
promotion or
category.
demotion? Did people want more or less? I don't know. What do people want? Oh, that was a really nice episode. It's been really fun. I've decided I just want to speak to fun people on the show.
We still haven't had a call in because we always run out of time.
I did do a call in when you couldn't make it, and no one called in. So next week, I tell you what, next week we'll set up a call in, and I haven't got it set up for doing call ins now, but I will set it up again. I'll set up some more scenes, as if there aren't enough bloody scenes for me to get confused by. I'll set up some more scenes, which include guest chat. And
I think Darren asks us who's doing the punishment. Roy's doing the punishment.
that would be me.
Roy. Oh yeah. You've got to do the punishment. Right. Any suggestions for the punishment ride? Punishment ride. What should Roy do for the punishment ride?
Yeah, while
Punch
you're
and ride.
doing that, so people ask Jessica should be a guest. Jessica, do you want to be a guest on the show? We need a bit. We need to get a little bit less males only on the show.
It's been a bit of a sausage fest so far, hasn't it? Yeah, anytime, Jessica. I have asked women to join me, but that doesn't sound very good, does it? Women, join.
Where's all the women?
Come here, women. Would you like to join on a Friday night?
Anyway, what's the punishment ride? Jessica just clicked off.
Well,
So Dave's done first-person camera. Jessica says she's got really bad internet, so maybe after January or in January.
Oh, okay. Would you like to suggest a punishment ride for Roy, Jessica, as the winner? Anyone else want to make suggestions? Anyone else got anything interesting to say whilst we're waiting for suggestions for a punishment ride?
You should have asked that at the beginning of the podcast.
I thought I had topics. I missed the whole topic of the Omnishambles. Oh, I did like the title today, Omnishambles.
What was the other topic of Omnishambles?
So Zwift Racing Score, going back and forth.
The trainers.
And the trainers was the other one, and then I completely forgot about that one, didn't I?
What was the other one?
But-
I'm sure it's on Discord.
Zwift has been awesome for weight loss. I should add. I love Zwift. I should add that I love Zwift, even if they don't like talking to me.
I think the biggest thing, it's not so much as Zwift, it's the consistency. Like to lose weight, you need to have a consistent schedule. And so Zwift does allow that because you can jump on at any time.
Yeah.
I'm just going to quickly check to see what the
it's
other
the anytime thing,
Omnishambles-
which is just so awesome. You know, just being able to do it 6 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock at night. You know,
What?
5 minutes
Yeah,
of
I think-
setup.
Like dirt is huge because now that being a parent, it's one of the forms of exercise you can actually do whilst you've got young children or older children who are pains in the ass.
Oh, what do you think of this one, Roy? I wouldn't do this one, but it's up to you. Race at a minimum of 100 RPM unless you're coasting.
I can do that.
Can you?
Yeah.
Oh, you're like a whirly dervishy, man. Your feet like spin around.
It's been a while since I've done my high cadence work, but I've done high cadence work for increasing periods, but it's been a while. But it's not easy, but I can do it.
So a Z race at 100 RPM unless coasting.
Yeah, nothing below 100.
Okay.
What would be that? So on, I mean, what do you call coasting? Because when I'm just say going through the S's, I'll do like 400, 500 watts up one of the little bumps, but then I'll go down at maybe 40 watts or something like that, you know, real low. Does that count as it's not coasting quite, is it? But
Surely you can spin it over 100 doing 40 watts. I think it's more if you're
doing 40.
literally going to super tuck.
What do you mean?
So
you
super
could do
tuck-
100 watts. You could do 100 RPM at 40 watts.
Yeah, that makes it easier. You just go into an easy gear and just spin like hell. It's actually, yeah. You can do 40 watts
a
at
lot of gear changes.
150 RPM. Wow, it's a lot of. What do you mean there's a lot of gear changes, Rob? It's just a couple of clicks. Roy's got the skill on changing gears.
Well, I trust you, Roy. If you say you can do it, I believe you. And I can't wait to see it. Let me know when you're doing it. I'll post it up for everyone to watch. You don't have to, just do it when you can do it. And, if you let me know, I'll try.
You've done 1,000 million races. You better do it soon.
Yeah.
When is your next race, Roy?
Couple hours.
Oh, okay. You're going to do it then?
Are you doing is it off the map or something like that?
I've got a ladder race.
Oh, I love ladder
don't do it
races.
for that. You can't do it for a team race, can you?
Yeah, do it for I don't want to say the word. It's race. It's kicker race that my friends used to always call it. Now, before we go to the other thing we're going to talk about is the new pack dynamics. So
Are there new pack
this is-
dynamics?
Yeah.
Pack Dynamics 5, apparently, one of the things that used to really, or still pisses me off, is if you don't have steering, you don't get the auto follow. Whereas if you've got steering, you don't have to steer, but you get the auto follow. And so you'd be riding along without steering, and all the steering guys are off the side. You're stuck out in the wind. Apparently, the new Pack Dynamics gives that auto follow to the non-steerers, which is a massive improvement and should have always been there.
We had a bad experience with that last night in the team time trial. We had two
But I don't think
riders
it's
without steering, and they were out in the wind all.
Yeah, it is.
most
It's
of the
not
race.
It's not in the time trials yet. I think it's only in the free ride. So that will be something that will. Yeah. So that will come. That will fix that issue because, yeah, if you've got steering, one person steers off to the right, everyone follows, and then the falls without steering are just sitting out in the wind.
Yeah.
So that's big news for.
I was doing a free ride, believe it or not. I was doing like a pace partner ride, and I was just getting some material for a video, and I was steering. I was just going down road, so everyone's in the middle on the left. Yeah, so you go down the right-hand carriageway, and everyone's on the middle on the left, and I was on the right, probably because I turned to the right. I tried to turn to the left to go back to get into the draft, and the wall came up. You know, the wall.
That red mark, yeah.
Before I was even in the draft, I couldn't turn back into the draft. It was like, you're blocked. You turned too much.
Overlapping wheels.
Yeah,
Like you wouldn't even let.
Yeah,
I've got steering. I'm meant to be the king of the road. How dare you stop me get back into the draft?
so for like, was it an issue the whole ride or just that section of the course?
It was in sections, like not all of it, but bits of it, like not consistent, but like I definitely noticed it, and because I was doing it for like my next installment of Draft Like a Pro, lesson 2. Yeah, I was doing it for that, and I just looked stupid. I was like, draft like a pro. I can't even get in the draft.
Yeah. That's Zwift hacking into your account again, isn't it? It's like, oh, Rob's streaming. That's
I've kind of noticed that it seems to me that they've changed the shape of the draft bubble
Yeah.
on twist, and especially on curves. It sort of follows the curve now. So if you're following behind, I noticed I would get pushed to the inside of the curve more. But if I looked at so I thought I was getting pushed out of the draft, but when I steered back into the middle of the group, the draft went down.
so the draft's following the road shape rather than
It's weird. Yeah, it's like kind of, I don't know, but kind of following the race line. I don't know. Just
yeah. It probably wouldn't surprise me as Zwift just goes, okay, the draft is the racing line.
that could be because before, especially like in the arcade in McCurry Islands, you go into that arcade and you lose 90% of the draft.
Yeah.
So maybe they're trying to fix that a little bit. I don't know.
Should
I
you
can't
use the
wait.
draft though? Because the air carries on going straight forward, doesn't it? Oh, I suppose it gets sucked around, doesn't it?
I don't know. Who knows?
Because the arcade is good for.
Yeah, the arcade did definitely lose draft through there.
Yeah. So I cut the corners there because they're 90 degrees. You're like, well, you're going to lose the draft anyway, so you may as well take the shortest line.
Right.
It depends also because I suppose if it's a really wide lane, if you cut the corner on a really wide lane, it makes a big difference. Whereas some of the lanes are quite narrow, so you're not really going to gain much time. Anyway, so that's the new pack dynamics. Hopefully it fixes some issues for non-steerers. But then, as I said in the comments, does that make steering pretty much nullified? I think depends. Like as you say, Rob, if you're solo, you can cut corners. Whereas if you're not solo, you can't. Or if you're solo without the steering, you can't cut corners. So there is still that.
Oh, I tell you what, this is a good excuse to show my race because I did an awesome race. So should I show my race? Because I did a breakaway, and I used steering a bit.
Okay, I will say though, with the steering, you can mess up somebody else's super tuck by crossing over in front of him, because he'll sit up and you'll still be in the super tuck, and he'll just
That's pretty much why I want.
Ripcord.
That's why I want the steering is to mess other people's super tuck up. It's one of my favorite things. It's a bit like using the burrito.
Yes.
The reason why I like the burrito is it's one of the few things that can actually make other people's race worse, whereas everything else is about making your race better. But anything that can mess up someone else's race, I love.
Right.
Oh, we had this. I actually, there was one of my subscribers. So I went over the top. Can you see this? Yeah, you can see it.
Yeah.
So I went over the top. Oh no, it wasn't this one. Oh, I thought it was this one. I did this race about 8 times. So I'm gonna have to remember which one it was. Oh no, it wasn't this one. Oh, I'm getting all confused.
Are you talking about the one where you super tucked over the top and you gain like 8 seconds or so?
So there was Brown behind me, and I went straight down the middle of the road because I wanted him to stay in my draft, because it was triple twist. You're coming down off the hilly, and then you've got a fair old go to get to the volcano, and then back out to Jarvis. So it's probably like 7K. And I didn't fancy doing that on my own. And as I was going down, I was like, oh, do I want him to be in my draft? Should I go out to the right? And I basically did it for appearances. I thought if I want him to be with me, probably what I should do is steer out to the right so that he can super tuck as well.
Yeah.
But I didn't want it to look like I was trying to lose him. So I just stayed in the middle, and I lost him, and I had to go on my own. I can't remember if I had to. Oh yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, I think I came second actually. Now that I think about it, but I'm sorry for going on so long. Does it matter? Does it matter if we go on for ages?
We just get a new audience. The Australians are woken up. They'll start watching.
Right. What did I do? Live. Oh no, this isn't the right channel. I hate having two channels.
What time is it there, Roy?
It's 3:30 p.m. So
yeah, so you got all the Americans starting to settle down.
Yeah, if we stay on long enough, we'll get the Australians. Oh look, it opens up the wrong channel. I've swapped channels so many times. I hate having two channels. I'm going to go back to one. It's stupid.
I'm disappointed that Nathan's no longer doing the in the drop streams and then spending 2 minutes like, oh, not this again.
Oh, so what did I do here? Oh yeah. So I always go from here. So I went from here, off the beach, getting plenty of draft halfway up, and then as soon as I'm in front. Now I don't have the thing on where it shows you whether they're following, but he has got steering, I think. He certainly has, Machoy. Yeah, these both got steering. And yeah, they didn't follow. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say, isn't it? But yeah, still, it's still an advantage having steering, because if you're out off front, then you can cut the corners. Whereas, assumedly, if you don't have steering, you wouldn't cut the corners.
Yeah, occasionally it does help you cut the corners, but yeah, there is situations where steering is a massive advantage, and you're absolutely swearing black and blue when you haven't got steering, and there's 3 or 4 riders who do, and they just ride away.
Yeah,
I almost give up those races. Yeah,
that is horrible. Have you not got steering?
I don't at the moment, but they're on the way. I bought them when they're 50% discount. It still costs me a lot because of shipping, but it's like, got to get them when they're 50% off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was the deal.
They'll probably be 25% next time because they're going down in price.
Yeah, I feel a bit robbed, because they said this was a discount price when I bought 2 sets of them at $99.
It's a typical sort of Black Friday sales in terms of, it's usually $130. We're going to sell them for $100, so you better buy them now. And that was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I won this race if anyone's interested. It was a nice long breakaway. I managed to nice modulation of power. I think that, modulation of power, when you're going uphill, you've got to get the gap. I used my aero wrongly. And I'm sorry for not showing Peter's ride. But there we go. Too late now. We're not doing another bloody segment. It's 2.5 hours again.
You're definitely going hard, Rob. Your eyes are below the
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have to fix that. But
you're not even getting more aerodynamic, too. It's just a waste.
I tell you what, as well, when you're solo, it definitely is better now being solo.
Yeah, the new pack dynamics, you don't get chased down just from the rolling through the groups. You can see, you can see riders going off the front doing the same watts per kilo as the group, and they almost ride away because the group gets stuck on each other with the sticky.
Yeah, and the front rider slows down.
Yeah, and they can't get through, and then you've often just got people riding shoulder to shoulder.
I wonder with the modulation as well. Do you remember that with PD 4 point wherever we were on? If you're off the front and you're doing more power in this
gives you
30
lower
seconds than you were in the previous 30 seconds, then it lowers your CDA. So and if you've got zero draft, so if you're modulating your power, assumedly that's kicking in quite frequently as well.
Yeah, they never released it. Maybe they have, but they never released where the thresholds are. But you're right. A lot of people forgot that when you're off the front, if you do a certain threshold, it'll lower your CDA, which is huge, and it seems to have been completely forgotten.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly a lot more breakaways successes than there were a year and a half ago or wherever it was beforehand. I love this pack dynamics. I never used to do breakaways, partly because it was stupid. You just get caught on the descents, wouldn't you? But yeah.
And then they'd roll past at 30 kilometers an hour faster, and you could.
Oh, great! I'm glad I got that 10-second lead. That was have to sprint for a minute.
That was my favourite thing. As I said, I love hurting other Zwifters. Is let the strong riders go off the front, and then I'd absolutely drive the pack as hard as I can down the hill. So when we get to them, we're going so much faster that they can't even sprint to get back on, and out the back door they go. So that's one less powerful rider in the group.
Yeah. Okay.
We better go. I've got to get on the bike. Apparently, I'm going to do my bloody Tuggers tour.
Solo. I thought we was going to do an hour again, but not quite. Okay.
What do you mean? We'll never do an hour, Rob. It takes half an hour to start it, like talking.
Okay. Thanks ever so much for joining, Jeds. Really appreciate it. And I will see you anon.
Thanks for having me. Good to see you, Roy.
Yes, good to see you too. Thanks for having me, Rob.
Always, man. See you soon. Bye.
See you, chat.